You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
A special happy Mother's Day to each and every one. Of course, folks, it's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM on this splendiferous, marvelous, trumandiferous Mother's Day. Wishing a special Mother's Day to all, every single one. And, you know, today is a really splendiferous, marvelous, trumandiferous day. And of course, folks, it's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and you. Don't forget, folks, as you're getting Shady Live, WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook. Subscribe. WZYE TV and YouTube. And you can reach us at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444. And this is how we start the thing.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, come with me. We do have dad on WZYE, Santa Meditate.
That is the one and only. We get to that. Dr. Love.
Welcome to WZYE TV 95.9 FM. We come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. And on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. on Let's Talk Politics. Like, share and subscribe to keep up to date with reality affecting your life. And as we always say, we bring the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We do mean that. We really do mean that. And not only that, but we have put that in words for you in order for you to understand that we don't just say it, we actually mean it. So take a quick listen to this.
Anselm LeBon and Marshall Nesbitt solemnly swear to conduct this radio program in a true, fair, and balanced manner, ensuring that all perspectives are given equal consideration and that the information presented is objective and unbiased. We pledge to provide a platform where diverse voices can be heard, fostering open and constructive dialogue that serves the best interests of our audience and community. Our commitment is to uphold the principles of journalistic integrity and ethical broadcasting throughout the duration of this program. Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our oath / pledge to you, the people, that will bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm going to bring in my pal, the man himself, the young man, Uncle Tommy. Tommy, how you going?
Very good, thank you. And a very special Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Look forward to them having a great day. The weather is splendiferous, as you said. So it lends to a wonderful day.
Yeah. And Mother's Day is a good day. To be honest with you, Mother's Day is a good day because, you know, it is a mother that, you know, I want to play a video by what is call him again, boy? Let me see. Oh God, I forget this fella. What else call him? Yes. Let me see. I want to download that video and play it because it's a funny video. Certified Samson. You ever heard of Certified Samson?
Yes.
You ever heard of him, Tommy?
Yes, I have. Mother's Day is very special because becoming a mother is quite a feat. If you have ever experienced it, you realize that it takes a lot out of a woman to give birth.
Yeah, well, I didn't understand it until we had our first child. That the difficulties of a mother, and then I started to understand what a woman had to go through that we as men will never have to go through. Never,
True. So true.
never have to go. And
It's quite
Tommy,
it's
it
quite
just go ahead.
it's quite a journey.
Yeah. And what I don't understand, Tommy, is why people just treat their mom the way some people just treat them. Sometimes I don't get it. But then again, we don't go through whatever experience that they have, you know, in order to understand why some people treat their mother the way they do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So um, sometimes we're not walking in that person's shoes or have walked in that person's shoes, and they treat their mothers certain ways. I mean, I tell you, my mother, growing up in Chumaka, Claventil, and the hard work that she put on with her 7 kids, a single mother. I mean, but all you could do is salute her, man, for all the work she put in. And I mean, my father is still alive. I carry my father last name. You know, somehow I don't understand. My mother make me carry my father last name, but then carry her name. So whatever, I never really, you know, query that. But I carry my father last name, Libon. And if you're going to Bago, especially in Roxborough, everybody know Lebon. So I can't complain. And they're supposed to have something at my house here for Mother's Day. So I'll see as the thing goes along. So let me go to the chat real quick. Caribbean Soul Breaker record, yes? The man was inside 11:57 a.m.
Wow. So
That has to be a record to me.
mm-hmm.
11:57. He says, "Good morning, WZYE and listeners. First again, the rest of the guys have rose and chocolate to buy for their outside woman today, so they're late."
Mm.
Yeah. Tommy, it's interesting, eh? I was correcting some papers yesterday. I sit down there and I said, "But wait now, boy. But let me go and get my flowers now, eh? That I ain't had to get up in the morning and go and get the flowers." So I went by Trader Joe's and I get my flowers, I get my card, everything. You understand? So I get that out of the way. Because if I was to do it this morning, I had to get up early this morning and I put it in the vase, I put the water in the vase, I put the card there and all kind of thing, yes? Early o'clock, boy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Get it out of the way.
You know, I get it out of the way.
Yep.
Caribbean Souls, happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. Caribbean say, well, what are your views on Antigua PM? Like if ex-PNM lost the election in Trinidad and Tobago? Okay. Yeah, that is the issue with the Foreign Affairs Minister, but I really not. That ain't nothing, man. Caribbean Soul, or is it TNT laughing stock of the Caribbean? So no other Caribbean islands doesn't respect us again. Nah, we get more respect now. We have a new Prime Minister. We gain more respect now. Mr. Intellectual, blessed. Good afternoon, Pro Uncle T, and all villagers. Hope you're having a super special Sunday to all your mothers. God richest blessings. Tommy, you wouldn't believe this, eh? You know that fella, the fella who say he does referee football games?
Yes.
You know you, right?
He.
That man sent me a voice note 18 minutes.
What?
You believe that?
18 minutes
18
long?
minutes. 18 minutes long. Well,
What are you supposed to do with that? Run a whole show with that?
Yeah. Run a show. Yeah, we go play that. We go play it. 18 minutes and I say, we were that fella boy.
That's
He
so
different
unreasonable.
boy. He different. He's a different specimen boy.
He wants you to
You
play
know what
it.
I mean? No, I don't think he want me to play it. I don't think he want me to play it. But he's a different specimen. I think he sent it because I sent out something and oh, I know what it was. So you know I just do editorials and thing and send it out, right? I
Correct.
think that was his editorial to my editorial. 18 minutes long.
Wow.
Yeah, but he different. He's a different one. He's a different one. KFC, welcome. Happy Mother's
Hi,
Day.
good afternoon, Mr. Washit and Uncle Tommy, man.
What's happening,
See
man?
you, okay.
Happy Mother's Day to your wife
Yeah,
and your mom, Uncle Tommy. Happy Mother's Day to all the right thinking mothers of Trinidad and Tobago and extension in the world.
correct is right.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day to God. Happy Mother's Day to God. Joseph, that won't say that voice there so long.
18 minutes, you know. The man.
But Mr. Washit,
uh,
you know we celebrating all the life to the mothers. Must say Happy Mother's Day to my Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Your Honorable Congress,
correct.
more life, health,
That's
and
in order.
strength.
The
And may they
trailblazer.
continue.
The trailblazer. The
Yeah.
trailblazer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
the true warrior. I try that to be good. To make this country go forward.
Correct.
And all the viewers and all the listeners who locked on listening,
Yeah.
let's love to all the mothers and man.
Yeah,
Mr.
man.
Worship,
Eh.
bless the love out. I got to tag back you because I know the show now start.
Yeah, man. Blessings.
So I got pass and show me could show in that timing.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
One love still. One love still. So all your call on with all your Mother's
Wishes.
Day wishes. Blessed afternoon, Mr. Intellectual say blessed afternoon, Pronkety and all villagers, all you up in a super Sunday to all mothers, God richest blessing. Soul blessed evening, blessed afternoon. Soul was he the one that was bad talking the opposition in the Caribbean in the crime talks in Trinidad? Birds of a feather. Time on talk, welcome. Happy Mother's Day to our Sultana. Sultan. Busy, welcome. How you going, brother?
Good day, hear this.
Yeah.
I kind of funny today, you know.
Why?
What about those parents? What about those fathers who act as mothers?
No. Oh, your father go back as mother. You's a father, you ain't no mother.
The mother did, right? And the father had to act as mother.
Eh.
Do all the work. I mean, like, no, it's not like, do everything as a father, but you not the child.
No, well, he getting happy Father's Day. He getting happy Father's Day, not happy Mother's Day.
So
Right? Because he could never give birth.
No. You can't get no Mother's Day. Yeah, you never get birth. Where you go? What? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Bizram, busy.
Yeah.
Does he breastfeed too?
No. You give it child milk in bottle.
Eh. Or you
In the baby bottle.
you getting baby bottle?
Yeah.
Or you not breastfeeding?
No, but at least he do part of the mother, what the mother is supposed to do, right?
Okay.
Artificial using the bottle.
Oh, all right. Using the bottle instead.
Nothing for the father then.
Okay.
As mother.
All right. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, listening.
I just asking. I might be funny.
Don't worry yourself. You're safe. You're safe.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Tommy, I don't know where to get that talk from, you know. What father acting as mother. What is that talk? Where that come from?
Out of timing.
Yeah, father. Your father go act as a mother. Yeah, nah. We ain't know about that. Volsang, welcome. Good evening, Walls and Uncle Tommy. Good evening to all on the live and to the mothers. A special day to you. Yeah, special day to the mothers. Good day, Uncle Tommy on Wall Street. All listeners, share the live. Happy Mother's Day. Um, Gordon Dryden Joseph says, VN. Okay. Rajendra, welcome. John says, Professor and Uncle Tommy, good day. Blessings to all on the show. Kurana, good afternoon to you as well. Good afternoon, Wall Street, Tommy and chat. Joan, boy. Joan watching from Trinidad, boy. Joan, good evening, everyone watching from Trinidad, boy. Rajendra said, pleasant good afternoon, Professor Wall Street and Uncle Tommy. John say, happy Mother's Day out there. Semantic 62, welcome. Good afternoon to everyone on the live. And let's say a special happy Mother's Day to each and every mother out there from WZYE, Tommy, and I to all of you. Semantics, Professor Wall Street, and Uncle Tommy, pleasant good afternoon. Miss Santa Cruz, welcome. Good afternoon to Wall Street and Uncle Tommy. Yeah. Good afternoon to all my friends in the village. Semantic 62. Thank goodness Wall Street, because some men don't really care about that. Yeah. They are taken for granted. Yeah. Yeah, man. Miss Santa Cruz, happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Busy say some mothers, some fathers act as mothers, bless up.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how a father go act as our mother. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Fat soul, welcome. Santa Cruz say looking for attention. Uh, Uncle Tommy, you're not easy. Oh God. Roll Prasad, welcome. Hey, greetings to all. Blessed Mothers Day, CJ Anna. Anthony says, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Yolanda Cordner. Wait, Yolanda, where you join us from? That last name, Tommy,
There
that
you go.
Tobago.
Codna is
Oh,
Tobago.
is not Lona, are you related to, is it that Yaya Cordina, the football, the female football player? She real
Yep.
good. Are you related to her? She's a real good. She could real play. She could real play ball.
Yep.
Anthony, happy Mother's Day, Anna. Uncle Tommy on Wall Street, nice to hear you all. Yeah, we had to come on, even though it's Mother's Day, we had to come and take care of what we had to take care of.
Yep.
Anthony say good afternoon, roll. Trevor, Monsieur, seafood, good afternoon. Who is seafood? Who is that boy?
Seafood.
Yeah, I know what I want. I know what I want is. Maybe he uses the strap with the bottle. You see that one by Semantic 62? We usually strap with the bottle. In order
Hmm.
to breastfeed now,
Yeah.
you strap it around your chest. You
With a
strap the
bottle.
bottle around your chest and you breastfeed.
Hmm.
Oh God, that's a good one. I like that one too bad. I like that one. So folks, let, let, let me see this. Okay. Um, what's that one?
Good after lunch to you, yours, the others, and the rest, all on this platform. Happy, blessed Mother's Day to all, especially those ladies who have mothered child and children, especially those who led them and show them what is the best way to go and to live, to avoid the police, to avoid the drug leaders. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to you all. God bless each and every one of you. And also to the fathers who have given these mothers good support.
Tommy, I think that will be his best contribution ever. Eh?
Since the beginning.
Yeah, since he's been here, I understand that fully 100%. I think that the first time he sent a voice to, and listener, and it was only 42 seconds. I will encourage him to keep sending voicemail 42 seconds or less, so at least we could get a fully understanding of exactly what he means. Would you agree, Tommy?
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I hope I don't have to take back it after this one here.
Mr. Man, I send you that for you. If I send in something for the platform for radio, it will not be 18 minutes. Okay? All right.
Okay, but I ain't play it. Always for the radio. I ain't play it. Tommy, did I play it?
No.
I mean, you sent me something, and I was just informing that you sent me something. What happened? Oh, okay. So Yolanda say, yes, it's the same code now. All right, family. Yeah. She get real good, boy. Real good. Semantic 62 says those single fathers Wall Street, they have to do the mother and father role. Yeah, but how they go be a mother? A mother is a different type of thing, boy. Just show that welcome. Good afternoon, Wall Street and Uncle Tommy. Cool runner, I agree with you, eh? Mother's Day is every day. I no joke. Every single day. Yeah, every day is Mother's Day. If we as men had to do all the work that mother have to do on a daily basis, you feel we could do it for me? Let me be honest.
Nope.
I don't think we could do it. Seriously, I don't think we could do it. S-West, welcome. Good afternoon, Professor Walls, Uncle Tommy, everyone in the chat, live listeners, blessings to all. Ingrid Matthews. Hey, I was not gonna ask Ingrid where she from, you know. Good afternoon, locked on from Tobago. Lady IB in the house, boy. What part of Tobago, Ingrid? I wonder if you're from close to Roxburgh. If she close to Roxburgh, she know my family, you know. Anthony says no, Hanif. I think it was the PM of Dominica. All right. Caribbean Soul went and carry flowers for his wife, and he back now. he carry flowers for his wife. Oh God. And is that greeting? He spoke in real time? I guessing. And is that okay? Georgia says, Happy Mother's Day to our beloved PM Mrs. Kamla Prasad Besessa SC. Yeah. You sure we don't share information here? Oh God. Semantic 62 says, even when Gordon speak normal, I skeptical about what he's saying. Oh God. Yeah. Caribbean Soul say Mother's Day is every day. But does men take time to appreciate it? That's why today exists. Okay.
Yep.
Happy Mother's Day to all us mothers. It's the greatest joy ever. Okay. All right. Daryl Pancho. DP blessings. What is DP?
Not sure. Maybe that's
Daryl,
somebody.
Daryl is DP. Okay. Look, Caribbean Soul is S West little brother, yes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You see Caribbean Soul little brother, blessings. Anthony says, and if I remember Anna Roberts talking about he blast him good. Rawls says, who the hell is that foreign minister to be so rude to Sobers? Gordon Gordon Joseph says, um, what? You see what I tell all you look. Support to them. Oh God. DR Singh, KPB, UNC leadership can only do best human beings in Trinidad and Tobago now. Yes, and I'll call them out. Gordon, Patricia, Mr. X are not normal people. They see things in pain and perspective, not reality. A lot of accidents taking place on our nation's road. So, folks, I'm actually caught up with the chatter. To me, I have to stuff today. I have to snuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to snuff. Yeah. Oh, so you know what, Tommy? It's on this Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what we want people to do is to call in or send your voice note wishing your mothers a happy Mother's Day. All right. Tell your son, tell your daughter, tell your kid, tell your whatever it is. But Tommy, hear this now. A person birthday was yesterday, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was asking she, well, your daughter take you out to TGI Fridays or something. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And Tommy, I was shocked to know that somehow the daughter decided not to take she out, you know. But I not calling no names, eh? Because I go get in trouble if I call a name. But somehow the daughter decided not to take she out. I don't know why.
Okay.
But I didn't understand it, but I'm not trying to understand. I don't try to understand everything, right? But I was like, so I called the person to wish them happy birthday. So I thought they would have picked up the phone from any restaurant where they was and would have said, well, shit, I can't talk to you because I'm having, birthday dinner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like that. So I just leave it alone. I not getting involved in that type of thing. I just let me leave it alone. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like to say happy birthday to the person.
Happy belated birthday to them. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and I'm not gonna give the age either.
And
Not
also
giving the
a very happy Mother's Day too.
yeah. Happy Mother's Day, happy belated birthday, everything all in one, all wrapped up in one. But I was kind of disappointed in the daughter though, somehow. You know, but I know I don't like to call names, but if you call a name, I'll clap. But I ain't calling no name.
Maybe the daughter cooked a very scrumptious meal at home,
Today or yesterday?
either today or yesterday.
Nah, when I call, she mean yeah, she scraping no plate or nothing. She not no knife and fork and she ain't no nothing.
Mm.
And she ain't even tell me that. She ain't tell me nothing about that. But let me don't get into the people business, eh? Let me stay out of them people business, eh? Because you know, sometimes they say, you mustn't get involved in people business. So let me stay out of the people business, eh?
All right.
Yeah,
Whatever make you feel safe.
yeah. I stay out of them business. I not getting involved in people on the body and the not me. Caribbean Soul birthday is Wednesday. What sign is that, Tommy?
It's still Taurus.
Like Taurus too?
Yeah.
Really? Wait, Caribbean Soul is that Taurus too, boy?
Mm-hmm.
Wee boy. Caribbean Soul boy, yeah, good. Um, good, good. Good. What kind of roots is that, Tommy? Good. How would you call that? Taurus.
Taurus is the bull, no?
Are they really the bull, Tommy? Really? I always used to hear that growing up in Trinidad, you know, that Taurus is our bull. We stubborn, we hard-headed, all kind of thing.
Strong too.
Yeah. Strong too, yeah. Dane can welcome. Good afternoon to all. A person sending Caribbean Soul happy pre-birthday. Caribbean Soul happy pre-birthday to you.
What day is Wednesday? Today is the 11th.
Semantic 62.
12, Tuesday, 13th. That's the 14th.
12. Yeah, that's the 14th. Today's the 11th. 12. No. 12, 13, 15th. 11, 12, or 14. You're correct. Today is Sunday. So we'll send you greetings on Tuesday. So it'll be fresh on your mind for Wednesday. Yeah, we go do that. We go send them some greetings. As West says, trust mothers are feminine. So fathers are not really mothers, but we acknowledge the excellent role of care in absence of mothers. Blessing to fathers in that respect. Yeah. Correct is right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As well said, now that was the video. Where look, and if say somebody, you know, and if say Miss Atlanta. That is what Hanif say. So they don't accuse me of calling nobody name. Yeah. So my birthday was April the 23rd. The day. Anthony, why? So Tommy, I am the 20th. Kamla Prasad Besa says the 22nd. Anthony is the 23rd. Caribbean Soul is the 14th. Way boy. A serious long list, you know. Who else, boy? Who else is Taurus in the
Yeah, according to Hannah, Miss Atlanta is the 10th.
Wait now, she's a Taurus too? Right? If she was yesterday, she's a Taurus too, Tommy.
Happy birthday, Miss Atlanta.
I'm telling you why. You know what I don't have a problem with? The merit points. But if you're giving me the merit points, you can charge me a fine. It's either or. It can't be both. Now, we just get points and we license here and still get charged, you know.
Yeah, but you don't get points for a parking ticket.
Or in Trinidad, you get points for parking ticket?
Yeah.
Nah. You sure about that, Tommy?
Ask somebody in the chat.
Folks, is it that you get points for parking ticket, a parking ticket? A parking ticket, Tommy?
No kidding. And you get points for defective automobile. You don't get that for your defective automobile here.
Like if you have a broken light?
Yep.
Nah. Tommy, it's talking to me like you making up them things, man.
Well, let somebody in the chat. The whole thing is ridiculous, man. They just don't know when to stop.
Wow. If you have a broken light or a parking ticket, you're getting points for that? What kind of madness is that, boy? I didn't know that. Rajendra says the entity called CARICOM should be disbanded. Let them come up with something else because Eric Williams, PNM Republican Federation of Islands, can't cut it in the 21st century. It has not empowered the island. Okay. Eswes says celebrate with my mother Thursday also. Okay.
Wall Street, if you get stopped here for an inspection sticker, you'll never get a point on your license for an inspection sticker.
Yeah, but not only that, Tommy. In that one time I get stopped, I didn't have a registration with me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They tell me, all right, listen, we'll give you a warning. Go to court and show that you have a registration and nothing wouldn't happen. You wouldn't get no ticket. You wouldn't get nothing, nothing, nothing. I mean, that's reasonable thing because sometimes, if you don't pay your registration in your car, you could forget it.
One time I forgotten to renew my registration,
Mm.
and the police, as I passed, his computer pick up my plates, and he realized my registration had expired the day before, or whatever it was.
Mm.
And guess what? He gave me a break. He told me go and sort it out. He told me
Yeah,
do
that
it
happened
online.
to me too.
He told me do it online, and I did.
Yeah, that happened to me too. You just forget.
Yeah, and
Instead of getting your ticket, depends on how long you forget now.
it was one day.
Yeah.
But these cruisers have the capability where they read your plate, and they get the results right away.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm. I know. Technology that they have today is like,
Mm-hmm.
it's unbelievable. Bucham Joshua, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Mickey the Ghostwriter, welcome. Historically, can any one of us alter the results of the election? The PNM suffered a stunning defeat that has them exposed and fighting amongst themselves. This cannot change no matter what anyone do. Correct is right. Caribbean said Wall Street, a little birdie told me was green fig and corned beef that person got, and she eat it with knife and fork. Caribbean said I staying out of that, eh? Not me. Semantic 62 says tourists people don't suffer fools gladly. Okay. Rajesh says Happy Mother's Day to all the guys as well, particularly automatic vehicle drivers with a higher pitched voice. Just joking, guys. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Fatso say yes to whatever it is. SOS says Walls, Caribbean so like he looking for gift. I feel so. Gordon Dryden Joseph says, my son, who is the one with the most among the degrees, is I mean, is that necessary, Tommy? Is 401. That is Aries though, right? Is that Aries?
Yeah, that means April Fool's Day.
Wow. Wow. April's Fool's Day?
Yeah, the first of April.
Okay. Okay. Anthony. Exactly, Rajesh. Miss Santa Cruz says, something going wrong with the internet slowing down, but yeah, the internet slowing down.
My daughter is the
I
7th of
know
May, and
about
her
it.
husband is the 14th of May.
Okay. Miss Santa Yeah, Miss Santa Cruz says my granddaughter is the 7th and my husband is the 14th May. But Miss Santa Cruz husband is the same day as Caribbean Soul?
Yeah, so
Yeah. Anthony West. Look, Patricia Pancho says she's the 29th. Hey boy. Taurus take over, boy.
it looks so.
Plen- Plenty. Yeah, boy, look, Hanif says my second son is 1st of April. My brother is the 7th. My fourth son is the 21st of April. My mom was the 18th of May. Way boy.
My dad was the 2nd of April. My last daughter is the 8th of April.
Okay. I wonder what month Patricia is. Pain, what month you is? Pain, Polias, what month you is pain? I just want to know what month you are pain. Tell us, put it in the chat. And my mom birthday would have been the 14th. May God rest her soul. Wait, the 14th too, boy. Boy, 14, boy. Just sure you're welcome. Wall Street PNM used to run this country with taxes and giving people tickets. I never know you used to get. I never know you used to get a ticket for a. I never know you used to get demerit points for a parking ticket. What do you think about Kamala's obsession with stand your ground? Now, I had said previously that the castle doctrine would be a better thing for Trinidad and Tobago, right? But if we take the part out of it that we have to deal with here in the United States of America, right? It's about time that owners of business could defend themselves.
You know,
You understand?
I was talking to Ramsey about that same topic yesterday, and he
Eh.
was telling me that we have to be careful with arming the citizenry. It could get out of hand if it's not managed properly.
But I think that is the you see, Tommy, the way I look at it is that most of these bandits believe that most of these people are not armed.
True.
And until bandits have to realize that if you're going in a person's house, there's a great possibility you'll cancel Christmas. It'll be over for you. And until they realize that I might go in that place and I mightn't come back out. Right? So what exactly are we going to do? Just sit idly by and say, well, we ain't sure if it's the right thing. If you arm people, this go happen and that go happen. We have to give it the opportunity to see what will happen. Right? Of course, they're going to have controls over it. They're not going to just give it nilly-willy. And the thing about it, to me, you have to give people who you believe is fully qualified for that. Like if you have a person is abusive, I don't think you want to give them a ammunition. So you have to do excellent background checks. Yeah? And I think it's about time. It's about time. Kaim, you welcome. Something going wrong with the internet. Best thing ever happened to us is Kamala is our PM. Yes? Correct is right. Kamala is a gen. Yeah? So Wall Street, why waste time to go to court? Couldn't you have gone to the police station and produced this document? No, because the police station is not the court. They're not the court of law. Once they stop you, and most of the time they stop you, told me that'll give you some type of ticket.
Or
A warning or something. Yeah, that'll give you something. Yeah, now you just can't show up in the police station and tell them, well, hey, look, here's my registration. Yeah. Bertram says, Happy Mother's Day to the most loving, caring political leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesta. And we're gonna play the audio on the Trailblazer. It's something done by the Express. I don't know, but the Express did something calling like them. I don't know. Payne says his birthday is in December. What sign is that, Tommy?
Depends on what time in December.
What is it? What is it to the two signs?
Sagittarius is early December, and the late is Capricorn.
Okay. So look, another person. Redrin just said next week is your birthday. Curve your soul. That's that. Curve your soul. Tommy, read what Curve your soul said. Oh God. You see it?
But it says the 13th month on the calendar, which it doesn't exist.
Yeah. She's 13 months in the calendar. S West says, I believe, let's get a message. I believe lots of mothers in TNT are truly happy infant. The entire nation is celebrating with desired hope, not just mothers, but children also. Margaret, welcome. Margaret says, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all. Ken John, welcome. Good evening, Wall Street. Tommy, shalom. Ken John, we haven't seen you in a little bit, boy.
Mhm.
Monty Steele, welcome. Yes, Wall Street. I think almost everything down here in TNT, you're getting the merit points for anything you might think of. Anything objective within your vehicle, manner you operate the vehicle, might even if your driver's license expired. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that. Ken John, welcome. So Ada case closed, she was the scapegoat for the PNM. As for say yes, Walls, I understand, especially since driven in the US. But Trinidad, I understand why they term in Trinidad, but some say don't give police any guns or car, it kill. Hurt others, accident. Okay. Let me see, I have another from Boston. Hi Tommy, this is Laka from Boston. Sending happy Mother's Day to all mothers found here. Also Tommy, today is Buck's birthday from Boston. He's Taurus. A birthday shout out to him. Hey Buck, boy. Happy birthday to you, Buck boy. He's a Taurus too.
Tommy,
Yep.
we're going on to Mother's Day lunch. You want to come with us, or you want to? Are you on the show?
Yeah. Um, Bitcoin, welcome.
Good afternoon, Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street.
Good evening.
And I wish you guys significant others
Mm.
happy Mother's Day to the Prime Minister, to you, to the Prime Minister of this country, and to all mothers in general.
Mm-hmm.
I am a unfortunate person. My mother passed on some years ago, so
Mm.
I don't have the, the chance to wish my mother a happy Mother's Day like you guys. But cherish your mother as you have them alive. I don't know if you see that clip what Roger Alexander made Professor Wall Street. He was at a function in Tennessee and he was giving his story about how his mother had to endure to grow him up two other siblings. Because it was four of them, but one passed away. And she was a single mother. Boy, if that thing put tears in your eye, I know what else to do.
Send it for me now.
So the kind of,
Bitcoin, send it for me.
I see it yesterday, you know, I didn't study that.
Oh,
I
okay.
just watch it and I just pass it by, but it was something else. I don't know if I could get to see it again because there's them thing that's come up on your
I
when
know.
it's scrolling
Yeah.
and you see it. I don't want to see it.
Mm.
But it was a touching thing by first time I hear that man talk about that, huh?
Mm.
And you would have never know a big strong man like that,
Yeah.
what kind of life that man had growing up as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Father abandoned his mother, you know, and she had to mind treat her and doing odd jobs, you know,
Mm.
cooking, cleaning, washing for people, you know.
Mm.
My mother enjoyed, you know.
Mm.
And she trained them up in the right way. She say they never go astray because you give them value and purpose in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is why he is the man he is today. I mean, nobody imperfect, but
Yeah.
he grew up in the right side of the street, rather than the wrong side.
Yeah, man.
Well, doesn't take much.
Yeah.
To wish everybody a happy Mother's Day and God bless all.
Yeah,
Have a
man.
good day, sir.
Yeah, man. Bless. Yeah. You know, Tommy, is it Proverbs that said, is it Proverbs, train up a child in the way he
Yep.
should go, and when he will not depart from it?
That's
That's it?
right.
Is that Proverbs?
Proverbs.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. I have a little something, but I remember a little something. Yeah,
Hmm.
train up a child in the way he should go, when he's old, he will not depart from it. I feel, folks, that coming on at 2 p.m. we'll have political analyst Mohammed. And we'll see where it go. Wherever it go, we going. You understand? We'll wait and see. This is a fair and responsible leader government. It is not going to be willy-nilly. It will be given strict law, send a message. These criminals allowed to run Trinidad by Rowley. Yeah, and Tommy, I honestly believe that the criminals the bandits was running the asylum.
Yep.
You know, they was running the asylum.
We have to have Karen, because Karen was making some revelations.
Yeah, I'll get she for tomorrow. I'll see if I get that for tomorrow.
That made me really think deeply about.
Good afternoon to you.
Not messing up. Go ahead, COP.
Good afternoon. That is the internet, the PNM interfering with the internet. That's what happened. Yeah. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good afternoon.
I like how all you talking about all the Taurus and things. But some feel a little biased. Because all the past January, all the past February, March, and all the jump and Taurus going on over there. I'm like benefiting all your birthday, or I would hope when it continue going down May, June, or all you continue that. So the person who birthday is January, February, and March. I fall in March too.
Yeah.
We will wait until next year. We had to wait until next year for that.
No, well, COP.
But that all they do nobody.
Just you could start it, get somebody popular in that month, and we could start eating rolling, no problem. You know what I mean?
Well, well, I like how let's start with Taurus.
Yeah.
But January, February, and March out of it.
Because
so we had to wait quite next year.
Well, I mean, just like your birthday, you had to wait till next year for you to come again.
Yeah, well, Patricia Reid birthday is January. Patricia Reid, your birthday is January. Otherwise, tell me when is your birthday. Otherwise, you'll get an applaud quite next year.
You had to wait till next year.
But that clipping, yep, with Selwyn go through. That man speak no lies,
No, it's true in power,
And today, the people them who successful in Laventille, and especially in the PNM areas and them, they are the ones who the UNC people and them successful, and the ones who is PNM until they're dead. They are the ones that on that real problem.
Pressure.
You know what the young guy said?
Pressure.
He said the UNC and Kamala Prasad this has changed his life.
Yep.
Living in a community that is 100% deplorable, and it's still deplorable, under the 10 years under the PNM. I sure it have many people cannot come out and speak as that young boy and say, oh, look, the PNM changed my life, and I am doing better today. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the UNC mothers and them. The PNM mothers and them, Francoman speaking, no Happy Mother's Day.
Nah, get up, COP, get them Happy Mother's good ones, man.
No, I will tell you experience why.
All right.
You know, yesterday was the thank you motorcade for our MP and the side, the Hansen Nine.
Yeah.
You know, passing through the AGC. This PNM woman that has been listening to 91.9. You know, she literally passed and cussing me, and telling me why I don't go from here. You know, she come from Grenada and get HGC house inside there. She and she whole family and them, and cussing me and telling me go from here. The people them in the hometown, the people them in home, So this is why I say, the PNM mothers and them know Happy Mother's Day for all you. If all you really wanted a Happy Mother's Day, all you wouldn't have vote for PNM. Take what I telling all you. So the UNC mothers and them, Happy Mother's Day to the UC mothers and them, and the mothers them all over the world and them. No, mothers all over the world, just not the PNM mothers and them. And if the PNM mothers them living all over the world, it's not for you too. There's no PNM, no Mother's Day for the PNM mothers and them. What should 2 o'clock have a rise day?
Yeah, man. COP now, we have to say Happy Mother's Day. Because when everybody wins. Yeah, man? Yeah. So, folks, I'm going to take this one real quick. Busy, you have a minute before we go for the break. It's 2. You have You have 30 seconds.
I'll send the video for you, right?
Okay. All right.
Tribute to Alexandra mother.
Okay. Thank you very
You
much.
see it?
Okay.
I sent it there.
All right. Cool. Bless. Yeah, I see Bitcoin send it too. Hey, look, Gordon Maloney tell me Proverbs 22, yes? Train up a child in the way he should go. You sure that right? Folks, we're gonna take that break. We'll be right back. It's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Is the one and only mighty Sparrow Boy, Dr. Slinger Francisco, the wealth of a mother's love. Yeah?
Oh, right back at you. It's the Kid 50 Cent.
This is your boy WZYE, baby.
Yo, what it does, this your homie Rick Ross.
This is your boy Gucci Man LaFleur.
You're in the mix with Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street.
It's crazy, you heard me? You heard me?
Hey, I'm Ariana Grande. Hey, yo, this Cardi B. What's up? It's Megan Thee Stallion.
You're in the mix with Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street.
Check this out, it's DJ Khaled.
This is Post Malone. Yes, that little Chico Pitbull.
You're in the mix with Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street. You are listening to Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street on WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening.
We are back with you. It's Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. That's every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Don't forget, folks, share the live, WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook. Subscribe, WZYE TV and YouTube. And you can reach us here at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444.
Also at 973-609-6509, 973-609-6509. And remember, share it live. Tell your friends to tell your friends. Let's get the numbers up.
And folks, we are currently at 15,200, and the goal is to get to 20,000, and that is with your help. And we really truly appreciate you guys supporting us here on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, let's bring in our guest, a person that's no stranger to our show here. This is the man himself, Dr. Shane Muhammad. What is your sign? What day are you? What day you born?
I'm a Taurus. I'm on
Nah.
the Ames.
Nah.
I'm a week after the Honorable Prime Minister.
Wait, nah. That's not true.
I'm telling
I
you,
am the 20th of April.
My birthday
You're the
was
29th?
the 5th of May.
So you March 29th. April 29th.
And May 5th.
May 5th.
Last Monday.
Happy belated birthday.
Wait.
Thank you so much.
Happy belated birthday, man. I am the
And
20th.
And a happy birthday to your
Wait,
happy birthday to your mom too, because she who had the birth on that day.
Oh yeah, she did.
And,
Yeah. So
happy Mother's Day to your mom.
So
thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to the ladies listening. Happy Mother's Day to your significant others, to your all the beautiful females in your life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen,
Right.
have you all finished celebrating and having your victory party?
Everybody won.
Everybody won.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't live in Trinidad, but I feel where I live, there was a different kind of air when I went outside on the 29th of April. I ain't gonna.
I think the whole world took
like,
a breath.
I think all of Trinidad and Tobago.
Say that again, Tommy.
The whole world took a deep breath.
It's as if we were all waiting to exhale, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's as if we were all waiting to exhale. And,
So true.
Hold on a second, the internet messing up.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm hearing you clearly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the internet kind of messing up.
Your internet messing up because Tommy, you
Tommy,
hear
are
me
you
clearly,
in
right?
Mine is working well.
Mine too.
Okay, just go ahead. If everybody's hearing you, that's fine. Go ahead. That's me then.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, at the risk of sounding pro UNC, I think that this is a much needed change that Trinidad and Tobago needs. And we need a redirection. We need a repurposing. We need a realignment. We need to see things for what they are and not what they are perceived to be, or the misguided thoughts or aspirations, intentions of those who led us. And I can say, I will tell you all, as I told another media house, Balize, the flames of Balize is far from being put out. That's where I am. I think in the first week, there was great anticipations as to what would be said, how it would be said, and all of that. And in the end, we got a better picture as to where we're heading.
When you say we headed, you're talking about the PNM or you're talking about the nation?
Oh no, we as a nation. Go ahead, Tommy.
We lost you.
Well, she's going to come back. Yeah. So we are. I think, and I always think that this is an anomaly of an election. The country spoke in a direct, even in one of the lowest voter turnouts ever, and we have to remember that voter turnouts are proportional to the size of an election. Patricia, you have strong men in your family, girl. But I think at the end of the day, we got exactly what we wanted, and we've gotten to a place where we just have to give the government the opportunity to do what it needs to do.
Would it be appropriate to say that every time there's been a snap election, the incumbent has lost?
Yes, it is appropriate to say so, but there are also the conditionalities that led to such an election. So, I always say everything comes in a very different. Everything that comes to us comes in the form of a blessing, and we questioned, the shifting of regard from Rowley to Stewart, not realizing that Stewart would have done us a huge favor by having the inexperience, having the inability, having the ineffectiveness, lacking the qualities that are needed to win an election, to lead a government, to understand politics, to understand in political environment, to even understand his own organization. And it was seen, it was witnessed on the very first day that he took office as prime minister. So, it triggered an election, and here we are today. 5-6 brutal weeks of electioneering, but a result that seems to have pleased the majority of the society.
I think what's painful, Dr. Shane, is that for one day work, he's gonna get $1 million a year pension for life.
Well, I think I heard that the Attorney General is going to investigate and see whether that can change, because that's unfair to serve one day. Well, 42 days, right? 42 days as Prime Minister and collect a pension that's big like that. So, you know, it's mind-boggling though. When you listen to the government, the current government, you listen to Prime Minister, and you get a sense of where we are. You know, I'm wondering. I keep wondering. This is political deception like we've never seen before in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago's history. This is I mean, when you look at it, economy, spending, growth, development, you name it. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. And I keep thinking that the economic hardships that we have been facing as a nation is really and truly man-made. It's a lack of political will, a lack of ambition, a lack of care, a lack of concerning, a lack of compassion. You know, thank you, Patricia. You know, I am just mind blown that, and now you're seeing in the PNM that there was great discontent. And you know, the flames are blazing and people are pulling out the swords to fight. They're becoming even more, they are more interesting in opposition than they were in government.
True.
Right? So, boy. But I think at the same time, I believe that Mrs. Prasad Bissessa has made it very clear that she understands more than anything where we are. She understands where we need to go. She understands what needs to be done, and we need to, you know, it's a hell of an ambition, but it's not improbable or impossible. And I always believe that political will is the most important thing in the execution of good governance.
You know what, Dr. Mohammed? You guys hearing me?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, the internet here all on a sudden decided that it was going to give trouble. But Dr. Mohammed, when the past government was being warned, especially telling them about diversification, the former prime minister got on a platform and make joke about diversification. You know, make like if it's kicks, like he was kicks in. You understand? And now that we see the condition of the country, right? And that the deficit, they say it was 4.4 billion and it might even be higher, right? I think the people now have to understand is that I don't think the people should, well, the PNM people going to expect Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissessa to come and work miracles overnight and fix the country. You see, I think it's the first government, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, that came in and in the first week already had things that it put in place, like, for example, getting rid of the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority, with respect to the merit system, right? With respect to the amount of monies you could purchase for a car, as an MP or as a minister or as a senator. I mean, these things are significant things that can save money, but we're gonna need much more than that.
she's literally limited them all to Prados. Anything that is a Prado below, right? Because
but that's not bad.
Of course not.
I don't see bad.
I don't see the need for a politician unless they came into politics having wealth. So, for example, let's just say, for example, I'm just throwing out his name, right? Because he's a businessman, a successful one. But if I see the Minister of Trade driving in a Range Rover, I will not get concerned because the Minister of Trade and Investment and Tourism is a well-established, successful entrepreneur, the owner of a multi-billion-dollar company called Sasha Cosmetics.
Correct.
Legacied after his mom, who in her own right is a trailblazer for women in Trinidad and Tobago. But I am very happy, and I think what I'm even more elated by is that those who thought they were coming in government to make it into a playground got a rude awakening. Not once, not twice, 3 times.
Yeah. Correct.
Right? And I must say that Mrs. Prasad Visasa's inaugural speech at President's House.
Oh boy. Yeah.
It was packed, it was loaded, it was well written, well executed, full of emotion. It is one of the first times as well I've seen a prime minister express the level of gratitude and graciousness to a nation on her election or on their election as prime minister. I'll always say this, that the partnership had flaws. None of us are perfect. None of our lives are perfect. And there are those who will tell you that they are influencers and all of these social media personalities. And even they don't live perfect lives. Because life is not about perfection. And I hold steady. And I'm very, very happy to see Mrs. Prasad Visasa. Remember those early days when I was saying to you all, it's two things. What does Mrs. Prasad Visasa want? To go out in a blaze of glory or to fall on the sword of defeat? And what it was all about, what does she want her legacy to be? I don't know. I can't take credit for it. I don't know if she listened to me, anything I had to say. But I was one of those voices out there that was saying, what do you want? What do you want this chapter, this book of your political life from 1987 all the way to now? What do you want it to be? You had one stint as prime minister. Is that good enough? And here we are. A very loaded speech, one that I think we all needed to take in and, soak in and understand what she was saying. But she wasn't talking about people that was outside of the United National Congress building. She was also talking about people who were inside the United National Congress building. And I will continue to say one, that I don't believe for a second that she deserved to lose the 2015 election. But I will say without a shadow of a doubt, she more than deserves. She has achieved, she has deservingly achieved winning the 2025 general election. And whatever that legacy is, I like that Korean Sula coming to that question. And whatever she does for this country going forward will be etched as a legacy in the history books of Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I was looking at I read an article yesterday or today, that to get rid of the demerit point system is going to cost the country $300 million a year. $300 million a year, right? When we are 5 months, and not even a full 5 months, into 2025, and we are owing $4.4 billion.
Correct.
So $300 million, right? Divided by 12 is $25 million a month. But that I believe they're going to find a different way in which we can curb speed, reckless driving, promote safer driving mechanisms, and that sort of thing. But the demerit points doesn't mean that people are not going to be held accountable. Something else has to happen, right?
I'll put it up there for you to read. Yeah.
Let me get to this question. Do I think that Penny is a game changer to the PNM party, and do you think she's too quiet of a person to attract supporters of that party who likes Bacchanal and run? Well, Lorenzo, here's this part of it. I see Penny Becker's being a stabilizer, coming in to stabilize the party. But I say that cautiously because all swords, all cloaks, all daggers are out in the PNM. And Penny is going to have to also answer if she so chooses. But she is also binded by collective ministerial responsibility about what she agreed on this and this, what she agreed with and what she didn't disagree with at some point in time. In order for her to be that person that is going to really and truly make a difference, like Mr. Manning did in 1986 and reposition the country and the party into a framework that makes it winnable again. She's going to have to do a lot of hard work, and the job, what she does from now when the parliament opens till the internal election of the PNM is going to also determine whether she has challengers to the post, and if those challengers may very well be people that once supported her so very strongly. I think it's all left to be seen. I mean, when you listen at Erie, when you listen to Faris, I mean, even Foster, there's venom, there's anger. It's as if they were dictated to in a system that they were not accustomed to dictatorship, but more so they didn't know what to do. For all you know, the best thing that happened to them was losing a general election. But it's also the best thing that ever happened to the country.
True.
Yeah, he's one on the screen. Now listen to this, right? If the PNM telling us this is a new dispensation, and any senator was a senator who lost his seat, right? This is just a rebranded PNM with the same old people.
But
Any senator who lost,
I can tell you that there are 3 people that I think will be in the Senate lineup. At least from what I see. One or possibly 2.
Who lost the seat? Foster Cummins?
Yes.
And you now, well, then you know what? Cancel Christmas.
We can't cancel Christmas. Because
Why?
Christmas 2025 will be a different level of Christmas. Kamala Prasad says
no, I'm talking about for PNM. I'm talking about for the PNM. I'm not talking about.
Listen. I think you reach too far. You can't even say cancel Christmas. You have to say cancel the continuation of the construction of Balizé House.
You being generous though. You still being generous. But if you're coming,
there's nobody. Listen, you can't. We have to go and look at Balizé House and take a good picture and see what has been built and what hasn't been built and what needs painting and what they were hoping to get paint for. So cancel the rest of the painting of Balizé House. No, but let me tell you who I think is going to be in that mix. possibly Faris and Foster, and I would not be surprised to see Anita Haynes.
Okay.
That's 3 so far.
What's your
I
other?
don't know who if I had a choice, I think Laura Lizama should be one of them.
Okay.
I would like to see Laura Lizama in that mix. I wouldn't be surprised I see Shamfa Kojo in that mix.
Okay.
So you see, I mean, Penny has to also choose loyalists, and Penny doesn't have. When you look, I mean, I think you're gonna get Penny, so you're gonna have Amory Brown for sure, Foster Cummins, Faris Al-Rawi, Shamfa Kojo, Anita Haynes, and one more. Those are my predictions. I don't know how many of them will come true.
Well, as far as I concerned, they have a do they recycle in Trinidad? Does recycle?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Well, PNM.
The only thing we seem to recycle in Trinidad and Tobago is politicians.
Right. So this is PNM's innovative policy for the past 10 years. They're going to recycle them politicians. They're going to recycle Foster Cummins. You know, really and truly, yeah. I don't care what them trying to do. I want them to sit on the bench. This is not your opinion, yeah. Dr. Shane Mohammed, this is coming from WZYE TV and Professor Wall Street. I want them to sit on the bench for the next 20 years. And you know why I'm saying that? Right? Because them same people who in there all of a sudden find a mouth, find a tongue, right? And want to come and tell you people all kind of thing now. All of a sudden we're going to do this. It's going to be different. No, it's not going to be different. All you had opportunity for a decade to make a difference in the country, and all you mash up the country. All you let Prime Minister really mash up the country. And now all of a sudden, all you want to come and talk, and Foster Cummins all of a sudden in the newspapers giving kind of cryptic message, and Amy Brown giving cryptic message all of a sudden. All you didn't have no voice before. Sugarlos have a song says, go ahead.
Political survival.
I understand.
You know what I don't. I'll tell you this. You know what I don't understand.
Tell me.
And it is something it irks me, and I have not gotten a chance to say it on the national television yet in Trinidad and Tobago, but I will say it at some point in time. Did Dr. Rowley boast about retirement? I will say it here, but I was, what didn't Dr. Rowley boast about retirement?
Correct.
Didn't he?
He's going off with his family.
Forward? Did he look forward to retirement? Didn't he look forward that his family had decided and he had consulted his wife and all that? Didn't he agree? Wall Street, didn't he say to all of us that he looked forward to going to retirement? Well, if you're retired, hush your mouth and stay quiet.
Yes.
You had 10 years to deal with rara. He had 10 years to buff the country. 10 years to rara. And that wasn't enough.
But let me say this to you, Dr. Mohammed. 36 years ago, before I got married, my mother-in-law told me a liar has no memory. Let me say hello to Dr. Rowley. That's all I want to say. That's what I'm going to tell you.
No, listen, fellas. This is really. I did say this as well. There's in my designing of, I don't even have it in front of me, but in my looking at seats and allocating seats and that sort of thing, right? And trying to look at the election clinically and that sort of thing. When I went wide, because remember I keep talking about this could be a Remember I told you this could be a Tobago House of Assembly 2021 scenario, tight or very loose.
Yeah.
Right. And when I did it as tight as I could, I did not see a 2021 perspective at all. I mean, yes, colleagues of mine were being conservative and they were being cautious because there was a undercurrent that people were not reading, and we couldn't read the undercurrent, right? And the undercurrent, in my opinion, was one out of two things. One, people had decided that they were not voting, or two, they had already decided that they were voting in a particular direction, and that direction would have been voting them out of office. And I sat down and I did different dispensations of what an election result would come out looking like. And I can safely say to you that I had 30 seats at one point in time for the UNC, including Point Fortin and Labrador.
Yep. Really?
The other two seats that I had was the Lupino Aruca seat and the Malabar Mausica seat. Those were the 4. So and the 30 seats would have included Tobago East and West.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it was about it was 2 off. It was 2 off. 2.
I was 2 off. I was
Right,
2
right.
off. And I that document, that sheet of paper that I worked that out on, I left it on my desk and I walked out of the house and I went on to the studio without it because I did not want it to be seen as, I didn't want to, it's very easy for certain senior political scientists to say I'm inexperienced and utopian, even though they like to put out polls that are flawed. But I didn't want it to be seen that I was being too excited and I was leading in going in a particular direction. But Dr. Rod, if the PNM do win, if the PNM did win, did win, yeah, because the duality of leadership within the party system failed. Now, duality of party leadership can work, but it can only work where there's mutual agreement. So, for example, if you have a political leader that doesn't aspire for political office in terms of state office, then, and you have someone who aspires for political office, the duality of leadership can work. You can have one working the party lines and on the ground, working with the party groups, creating party school, building party infrastructure, building membership, putting policy and strategy, doing outreach with the youth and the women and all of those things. And then you have someone who is prime minister or opposition leader, but more going there and doing the governance aspect. But the two should not be sitting in the house together because the smell of and the taste of power is going to get here at some point in time. Dr. Rowley wanted the best of both worlds. He was fed up of being prime minister because clearly he was incompetent to do it and mask it under the disguise of retirement. And he wanted to hand it over without calling an election. So he was hoping what we were in is in a pseudo-authoritarian state. That's where we were. And nobody wants to talk about that, but that's where we were. We were in a pseudo-authoritarian state. I would like to see Laura Lezama in the Senate. I think Laura Lezama deserves to be in the Senate. I think Laura Lezama has shown a resilience. I think she was punished by the PNM under Rowley. And I don't believe that people's personal lives should ever prevent them from serving in government or at the state level and in service to the people. Well, folks, you have to remember one thing. While we are happy, while people are euphoric, while people are excited about Mrs. Prasad Visesa and the win, and it's still very fresh because it's only 2 weeks ago, the PNM staying in opposition is really dependent on what work the UNC does. Plain and simple. Their communication skills, I note that I took very much in her first postcard meeting when Akash, people coming on Akash, but Akash asked two separate questions too quickly. So it seemed as though the questions just flowed from one into the other when he should have given her time to stop her answer, finish her answer, and then ask the other question. And then it would have not been. But yeah, he also has to understand as well, in his wisdom and in his experience, that he's dealing with a completely different prime minister. So he needs to give her time to finish, make her point, and then when you finish, make her point, then ask the second question that he would have. She was not opposed to asking questions, right? I think at this stage, the when question as to when this will happen or when that will happen is not relevant now because the government is still on a fact-finding mission.
Too early.
And too early, right?
Too early.
Very much too early. But I also take note that Mrs. Prasad said twice to Akash that she was not buffing him. And she also said to Minister Roberts, you can't speak to him like that. So those are the little things that we have to look at to realize that she's setting the tone and she's setting the standard.
Yeah.
She's also shown,
and go ahead, Tommy.
She's also demonstrated that she did learn something from the last incarnation.
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. She said, I was too nice the first time. When she said she was too nice the first time, I say, you mean it was too nice to who? To your ministers? But I do think that while we are, I think, while we are excited and we are euphoric, at some point in time, we need to, when they've settled down and the information starts coming to us, the success of the government will also depend on the critical thinking of the society.
It's interesting, right? That when you look at it, seemed like if former Prime Minister Rowley kind of, and as we said, Prime Minister Rowley is astute. Fact, folks, former Prime Minister Rowley is an astute politician. You all may not like to hear that, but that is the truth. Would you agree with that, Dr. Shane?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with him thinking that, boy, I really messed up Whitehall. Let me stage Whitehall and let me take some videos just in case they put out stuff that don't look good. I could put out that video where I stage it to make it look good. And here's why I say that, right? My wife and I have sold a few houses here where we live. And before you sell it, you stage it, right? And by staging it, you get a person who you pay and they will come in, they'll fix up the bedroom, they'll fix up the kitchen, they'll fix up the living room, dining room, and they'll put things in there to make it look better than it really is. And that's what it is. And then they take pictures and they show you the pictures, they take video. And when you come and you say, oh, why, this is no, right? And that is exactly what Prime Minister Rowley did. When MP Barry Padarat showed you certain things, you tell yourself, but wait, all of a sudden, like them unstage it then. It's like Rowley stage it. And they don't have no reason to unstage it because there were those people there telling them it need $5 million to upgrade it. So Dr. Marvin, my question was that the same place they spent $30-something million on? Or was that a different place?
A different place.
That was
two things.
Okay.
One, you have Whitehall.
Right. That's the one we're talking about.
So Whitehall was still 32 million.
But isn't that the one we're talking about? Whitehall?
No, we're talking about Diplomatic Center as well.
So clarify that.
So Whitehall has mold. Whitehall has leaking ceilings and roofs and that sort of thing. Whitehall has a level of flooding and mold.
Okay.
And the cabinet secretariat, where critical documents of cabinet are stored, is in a condition. The secretariat should be in um, in a space where the air is circulating, where there's no moisture, where people could function, they could work extra hours, documents could be away from anything that could cause it to
Deteriorate.
change, to deteriorate. Correct. And then we have the diplomatic center, which is where the center of where we as a nation hosts all of our national functions and our diplomatic guests. And what Parat and they would have done is that there's a wrap around the diplomatic center where it's fountains. It's very much similar to Napa, and that is moss and brown water. In some instances, they're saying sewage. And I mean, Rowley said when he came into office in 2015, the sewer was broken or not functioning properly. So you would tell me, for the last 10 years, you decide that your grandchildren didn't want to use the pool, your family didn't want to use the pool. You didn't want when you have hosting events for diplomats and dignitaries and whatnot, you didn't ensure that the place was in good standing. What is going on? What is really going on? Why it is I have to look at a staircase, a magnificent staircase in the diplomatic center, whether it be the residence or the diplomatic center, same building, and see lattice, black lattice, like if you're a country bookie.
You
Lattice.
You mean the carpet on the wall, the carpet on the ground?
Those Little House on the Prairie has the lattice, which is the little oh gosh,
the wood.
Yes, but it's in crosses. It's crisscross.
Yes, that's lattice.
Lattice, right? That black lattice tied to the barriers of the to the iron the wrought iron work of the staircase of one side of the center, as if you didn't want the toddlers to fall through. Really?
Well, I mean,
yeah. While I agree, when you occupy a residence, whether it is for a year or 2 or 3 or 4, an official residence, 5 years, you want it to be comfortable for yourself and those
safe.
That but class.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, class, and all class. Dr. Shane, let me say this to you. I have had, and I'm not gonna go into the details. I have had personal experiences with Prime Minister Rowley. Personal experiences, and I've said it before. He's won my house twice, and I'm gonna leave it right there. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it right there. And people can say about all this, about I hate he and I hate the PNM and all kind of thing like that. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, right, decided that, we no longer want to deal with this oppressive, wicked, evil government. That's what the people decided. Wall Street didn't decide that. Yeah, Dr. Shane didn't decide that, right? Uncle Tommy didn't decide that. Of course, we had leanings 200% towards the UNC. Correct. And we say we speak truth to power. Our leanings 200%, not 100%, double 200% was for the UNC to become the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And the end result proved us to be correct, because they are now the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So people can say what they want. You could jump high, jump low. You could do this, you could do that. You could, whatever the Prime Minister says previously. And Dr. Shane, I will go as far as to say this. And Dr. Shane, this is not you,
No,
So,
fine. Go
right.
ahead.
I don't want people to say, well, boy, Dr. Shane Mohammed was on Wall Street on Uncle Tommy program and they're talking about black this and black that. Under Kamala Prasad Basessa, and people, I keep regurgitating this over and over and over. 19.8% of black people living below the poverty line when she came in. It went to 17.3%. Under Prime Minister Rowley and Foster Cummins, Penelope Beckers, Dr. Amy Bong, who else? Marvin
Young Stewart.
Gonzalez. Eh?
Young Stewart.
Well, Young Stewart became the minority running the majority. Right? Right? I want to take people that look like the 17.3% people who were living below the poverty line. And all in a sudden, it went to 26.3%. And you know what he used to say? Wall Street, where you get them statistics from? Bring the statistics for we now. And all this sit down there. I understand collective responsibilities. I understand that. I do. But I wanted only to say a little something. Lavantel West, when I went back to Trinidad, the place was worse than it's been forever.
Anyway, as you say, Lavantel West, do you know this is the first time in many years that the UNC has gotten so many votes in Lavantel East and West? Huh?
But listen, when I get the thing from the EBC, I went to the EBC website. The first place I look at, two places, is Lavantel West and Mova Lavantel East. And I say, wait, 2,200 and over 3,000. And I'm saying to myself, wait, nah, EBC must get this wrong. EBC, Foster Cummins must call the EBC and tell them something. Right?
You see, you don't underestimate people's level of fed up. And fed up is one thing. But I was told this, and I have to share this with you all, that Dr. Rowley gave a mandate. I'm not telling you what this is here, right? This was told to me from within that institution. That there are certain people that were not supposed to get a single opportunity. And anybody who was ought to be offered an opportunity could only get it where the Prime Minister agrees. That's dictatorship. So you are telling me, so for the last 10 years, I get a good work in any of the state institutions. Why do? What did I, let's use me. I could use myself. Much less for the regular citizens that are undergrads and they're coming up in the country and they're looking for a future. So really and truly, if you didn't have a PNM party card, you was a dog then. Or dog was better than you.
Dr. Shane, I started to realize, and I could say this somehow, that the PNM wasn't really for the people that support them. They were only for their support when the election comes, so they could go to the polling booth and vote for them and put them in power. And then they forget them for the next 4.5 years. And 3 months before the election or 2 months before the election, they come and get them a little scrums. Not crumbs, scrums. You put an S in front of the crumbs. Scrums. Right? And the people are accustomed to say, yeah. And so on and so forth. And they said no more. And I realized that
there are 97,000 people that the PNM is going to have to regain their confidence from. And I don't know if the PNM can do that. I will be very honest with you. I don't know if the PNM can regain 97,000 people voting for them.
Well, I'm going to say this.
I don't know that at all. I can't put my head on a block and say that for them.
But Dr. Shane, once I am here, they say no. They want to say that 100,000 PNM people stay home. But I mean, that to me, that don't really make much sense.
I would not. Okay, so the total was 200 and let me just pull it up for you. It's 200 and something thousand people voted for the PNM, right? 335,000 people voted for the UNC. I will say that of the 97,000 that did not vote, being fair, being proportional, maybe 50, maybe 40 or 50,000 were UNC PNM supporters, traditional hardcore PNM supporters, who said no thank you, right? But the rest of the persons in that 97,000, in my opinion, is not PNM supporters. They are marginal voters that are likely to vote PNM that chose not to.
Correct. Yep.
So, but if you, for argument purposes, if you want to go from an argument purposes perspective, then 97,000 people did not vote for the PNM. But I am not, in my opinion, I don't believe that this is a 97,000 people that will swing right back to the PNM in 2030. I believe that Mrs. Prasad Bisasa has a golden opportunity here, a once in a lifetime opportunity to ensure that PNM does not get those 90, that she could convert that 40,000, 50,000 marginals that swing in favor of the PNM to swing in the UNC's favor.
Right. Let me put this thing on the screen here real quick. So let me see. Let me remove that code there. Lavantil East. Where is it?
Lavantil East. Look at here under La Hokata. 3,270 people.
Okay, right. And Lavantil West.
2,291 people.
Okay, there we go.
Look at it. And look at it. It is Lavantil East Mova, 5,837. So look how many people. It's about 2,500, about 2,700 people voted. That vote separated the PNM from the UNC's Lavantil East Mova.
Yeah. And think about it, right? Even in Lavantil West, 429 people voted for the Patriotic Front.
Yeah.
And in Lavantil West, that is Lavantil East, 577, and 429 voted for Patriotic Front. Think about that.
Correct. Yeah.
Think about that. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about it, we like to stick to the facts. We don't like to go and make it up because we're not good at making it up. We have a problem making it up. We like to stick to the facts, and the facts is the facts. The numbers don't lie. The UNC have a great opportunity for the PNM to sit down on the bench for the next 2 decades.
Correct.
Yeah, for the next 2 decades. Let me take this call quick here before we go for the break. Defender, you have 90 seconds before you go for the break. Go ahead.
All right, I want to bring some more perspective to what they talked about in the Lavantil East, right?
Yeah.
You know that in my place.
Correct.
3 things.
Yeah.
1, the lowest agent ever get was 10,000. That was 2020.
Correct.
And he got 15,000 in 2015.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, will make it even worse now, Wall Street. I live in Mova. I don't have no who UNC put up. And that man get 3,000 some votes.
Correct.
I still don't know who is the man. So if them put up a proper strong man to move on next election, Lavantil East will come a marginal sheet. Enjoy evening.
Thank you. There we go. East from Mova. You see what I'm saying? So people didn't realize the trend now. Anyway, folks, we're gonna take that break. Dr. Shane, stick with us. We're gonna take a quick break, folks. It's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, Dr. Shane, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We're going to take a quick break and you're going to be right back. And if you have any questions for Dr. Shane Mohammed, you can call us here at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444.
Also 973-609-6509, 973-609-6509. Remember to share the live.
We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Walsheet, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We come to you every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. That's every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Don't forget, folks, Shady Live, Shady Live, Shady Live, WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook, WZYE TV on YouTube. And you can reach us here at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444.
Also with 973-609-6509, 973-609-6509. And as Wall Street said, share it live.
You know, and I find it was kind of surprising that the Express is doing a tribute honoring a trailblazer, the Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Busesa. They had a special pullout. Yeah. Hey, they're real good, you know. You got to give them credit, you know. They're real good. Let's take this call. Caller, you have a question for Dr. Shane? Caller.
Hey, good afternoon, Ansim. Good afternoon, Dr. Mohammed. Hey, Ansim.
Yeah.
I really like this man you're talking to here. I love this man too bad. I find his comments are fair, to the point, and very understandable that a little baby could understand. Compared to some of them who just come and use a set of big word and talk a set of food. I love this man, Dr. Mohammed too bad. Ansim.
Yeah.
The population just fed up at PNM. Maybe if PNM, if Dr. Rowley reduced his sense and put the strategies, they might have still lost, you know, but they wouldn't have lost that bad. I think the population just get fed up of things that the ministers doing that, like, you know, they don't have no regard for you anymore. Although you put them in office, they feel like, you know, they're not working for you and they're probably looking at you as peasant.
But Ulrich, what's the question you have for Dr. Shane? What's the question?
Dr. Shane, what is your prediction of the future? Because Kamala said that the treasury empty, and you know, the population we siding with her. Even if she said the treasury empty, we expected to hear that, and we siding with her. But in the meantime, what are your predictions?
All right. Thank you. Dr. Shane.
There's a lot of work to be done. And there's going to be low-hanging fruit that she's going to make sure that she achieves. And she has a parliamentary majority that allows her to do certain things. And there's a word that I will not use that I used here before, so I will choose another word. Critical thinking is important. To be observant is important. To be vigilant is important. And this is the government that the country voted for. This is the political leader and the party that for 10 years was almost on the verge of cancel culture. And with all of the goodwill that has been received by the people of this country, there's a serious onus and responsibility on that of the government, which I don't doubt will happen, to be accountable, to be transparent, to be communicable. And if there's something you don't see that you see happening you don't like, you can't stay silent. Because if the success of every administration and every government is not only about the government, but it's also about the intellectual discussions and the critical thinking of its people. And if there's a minister that steps out of line and a minister that doesn't do what the country believes is the right thing, or a minister that speaks to somebody in a manner that is reminiscent of hubris like in the PNM, raise it and bring it to her attention. Because at the end of the day, the road to 2025 was not an easy one. It was long. For those of us who know, it was long and hard and difficult and turbulent and distressing, hopeless. That is what it was. And therefore, we have a responsibility to ourselves, as well as to the government that we elected, to ensure that what is right and what is wrong is wrong.
Dr. Shane, I wanted to say something, right? Caller, 1 minute. No, let's take the call. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Shane? I want to address that comment there up on the screen.
I'll be very quick, Professor Wall Street.
Go ahead.
Dr. Shane, I just want to ask you about succession planning for the UNC. Now, they're making a big thing over Kamala's health issue, right? Let me say, God forbid, she cannot carry on. Who do you tip to be the next political leader of the UNC? I'll leave it there. Have a good day.
Dr. Shane, I know if you want to go down that route. Answer the way, you know how the politician just do it. When you ask them a question, they answer another question.
Who do you all think should be the who do you all think should be? Listen.
Bitcoin.
For now, as of now, the country has elected a prime minister.
Yeah. Correct.
In this very instant and in this very moment, only 2 weeks ago. Only 2 weeks ago, as of tomorrow, which will be the 12th of May, only 2 weeks ago, the country elected a prime minister. Let us give the prime minister her due and her opportunity to do what she needs to do. But I guarantee you, if, God forbid, a day comes, we're in good hands. I'm confident that we're in good hands. And I will not expose anybody before or prematurely to become an unnecessary target or to have daggers out on their backs unnecessarily and undeservingly.
All right, let's take this call. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Shane?
Thank you very much. Good, happy Mother's Day to one and all. Dr. Shane, how are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Nice, good. Still blessed. 2 questions. I have been to the booth on several occasions and I watch how this thing. I wondered how people could really get through with corrupt voting. Do you really believe that we need observers here? When I watch how the whole operation is, of course, the area that I could see, I cannot see how somebody could vote apart or anything like that. So get your view on that. If we really, really need election observers. And the other thing is, with all that has happened, the kind of energies that went into the 2 major parties, the red and the yellow, obviously, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the night, one of them definitely will be devastated in terms of the outcome. But all these people who have given and who were expecting, how do you think whoever get into government now should be responding to these people, especially those who are on their side, in terms of what they're anticipating that they're supposed to get? Thank you very much.
Okay.
So here's my issue with so I agree that it was important for us to have international observers here. I think one of the most important things was to have the Commonwealth observers here. Here's my issue with the Commonwealth and the observers across the board. When the places that we should have taken the Commonwealth observers or the election observers we should have spread them across in sub-teams into all the marginal seats, especially the most the heavy battlegrounds of River Tableland and Shogunas East and San Fernando West and Barajara Sangon, and Toko Grande and Tunapuna and St. Joseph. Those are where we should have deployed, and Fernand's scope should have deployed the election, the observers to experience what people says was happening there, and where political minds had to step in to ensure that they protected the election. That's the first thing. As it pertains to reward, I think reward is going to come. There's we operate in a multi-level governance system, and sometimes we want immediate rewards. I remember the first time around when the government was in power, this government was in power under the partnership. It took something like 3 to 6 months for things to settle down and for persons to start getting rewards. Rewards come in the form of board appointments, diplomatic positions, jobs, etc., etc., etc. What I do think is important would be for a committee of the party to come together to receive resumes and that sort of thing for persons who are in need of, who are qualified and in need of jobs, and even for skilled workers who are in need of jobs. And I'm not talking about party members. I'm saying party, but I mean across the board, because you have to devolve, and there's a lot to cover for interministerial party, whatever you want to call it. But there needs to be a mechanism by which people can get rewarded for the hard work that they would have done, and even the sacrifices, I dare say, that they would have had to put in for the last 10 years, and the missed opportunities that they didn't get.
Do you think that PNM will ever get back in office? Because we are looking to me like if they go and mash up. So I want to know what is his opinion on that too.
Okay. There's a lot to happen. Penny has an uphill battle. And that uphill battle that Penny has is the existent presence of Keith Rowley still within the party. And Keith Rowley wants to ensure that somehow he believes that part of his legacy is to crown a successor. So he's some demigod or some king or some monarch or some, that sort of thing. I think between now and the next party, the internal elections of the PNM and the annual convention of the PNM, we have to wait and see what is going to transpire. Whether they will continue fighting, I will envision and I imagine that there will be even greater fighting when Penny chooses who her 6 senators are. And if it's true that if my prediction that Anita Haynes may end up being a senator, that is going to be stepping on a lot of people's toes. It will also be something very new for the PNM, where somebody walks away from one party and joins their party and immediately ends up in the parliament. And then I don't know what level of phobia and magic that Anita Haynes will get to be given such political good luck. I would like to know what the remedy and the concoction is, because some of us have been wading in the water for years of politics and have not gotten something so easy before. So there was another question. Thoughts on the former PM's allegations of sexual misconduct. He had a responsibility. Did he not? He had a responsibility in the last, as prime minister, and having that said responsibility required him to discipline those persons who he so accused. So If he can't, now it's too late for that. Why are you talking about things that you had information about and did nothing to correct?
Just becomes bacchanal now.
Correct. Right? So, you know, you're busting files on people now, after the fact. It also says a lot about his leadership. That he was prepared to condone wrongdoing in order to have his government survive, even when it had expired long before the 5-year period, right? Listen, San Fernando East. Yes, San Fernando East is contentious. Yes, I know how people feel about San Fernando East. I didn't expect San Fernando East to go that to be won. I always knew that San Fernando East was going to come very close. I don't think that they had. You see, you have to look at it from a maths perspective, right? Traditionally, the UNC maxes out between 6,000 and 6,800 votes. And the PNM's base starting is where Manning would have started from, which would be 7,000. So even if you check the 2007 results when Mr. Manning won the seat, he won the seat in a diminished number, but look at the number of votes split between the COP and the UNC, and you'll see what I mean. So in every seat, there's a maximum number that an opposing party can get, and there's a base number that the incumbent winning party traditionally will start at. And that is what was happening in San Fernando East. I'll tell you another one. I was monitoring Shogunas East, and someone told me, the intention of the San Fernando, the Shogunas East PNM was to win 9,000 votes. I said, the maths is not allowing that though. I said the PNM in 2007, which was the first time and the only time they won Shogunas East, did not get to 9,000 votes to win. The split between the UNC and the PNM, the UNC and the COP, caused the PNM to win Shogunas East in a minority number, which is their base number. So the numbers that the Vandana Mohit got, which was 10,000 plus, increasing it by some 1,200 votes or something. She was on her max out. If she'd pushed a little more, she would have probably gotten to 11. But that is the higher level and the higher number in her range. Her lower range number would have been the 8,009 that she got in 2020. What the PNM got was was basic for them. They couldn't win the seat in no way, no how. I mean, I was getting reports that they won Shogunas East, and I'm like, just not mathsing. So in those instances, you need to watch the numbers and how they, over the years, how the numbers stack against each other, and what are the base numbers and max numbers of each political party to know whether a seat is going to flip or not. So then you might ask, well, what happened with Lebre and Point Fortin? Lebre and Point Fortin was forgotten by the PNM for 10 years, completely and utterly and absolutely. They lost jobs, they lost energy resources, they lost human capacity, they lost skill set. The Lebre in particular lost commercialism, and their members of parliament, even though Stephen McClatchy will go down as one of those unknown members of parliament and most ineffective ministers of Labour, he did nothing for the people of Lebre. And on top of that, Lebre voted against Randall Mitchell, who they believe was a token hoisted on them to support Stuart Young, and they rejected it. Lebre, I will say, however, was always a swingable and winnable seat for the UNC. They have never bested bad in that seat, and therefore, them winning this could very much be the beginning of a new chapter in the history of Lebre, that it stays in that direction. Point 14 also has which depending on the kind of work that is done in Point 14. And again, commerce, revenue, opportunity, jobs. I mean, it's a borough, so it should be a hub of commercialization and commerce activity. That did not happen. It died. So what we were seeing was a trickle down from the top, meaning Port of Spain, across the corridor to Arima, to Toco, to Grande, come down to Shogunas, come down to Cuba, San Fernando, Francistown, Rio Claro, Mayaro, Siparia, La Brea, Debe, Pinal, down to Point 14. What you were seeing is that trickle down of poor management, of poor governance, of lack of economic innovation just trickle down, and some places got it a worse hit than others.
Let's take this call.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's take caller quickly. What's your question for Dr. Shane?
Yeah, Dr. Shane, I want to ask what is your thoughts on Philip Alexander's party joining with UNC, giving up all their assets and everything to UNC? If you think it's a red flag, is it good or whatever? And answer me and tap me on the back to see she go and get rid of the points and ticket thing.
All right.
That's what you call
political
brilliance.
Yep. Political
I
what?
think it's political brilliance. It's what you call smart. In fact, prior to, I was going to say it, and I said, Shane, sometimes you need to shut your mouth. But prior to Pep deciding that they were going to make that decision, there's no need for a COP. There's no need for a PEP. There's no need for an entity. Everybody can now come together and amalgamate. Philip is doing the right thing. We are a two-party country. Well, Trinidad, that is a two-party country. Tobago is a two-party island, right? Trinidad is a two-party island. And therefore, all of these smaller parties spent all of this money. And people lost their deposits. You know how much money the country make out of lost deposits in 2025? And a deposit is not cheap. A deposit is a basic salary for someone. It's $5,000.
Dr. Shane, I don't understand. We just try to be impeccable here, but the person is saying some of your statements are general. Sometimes I just can't understand if people when they know that they don't know, and they don't know that they don't know, and they don't want to know that they don't know, even if you tell them that they don't know, they still don't want to know that they don't know, even if you're telling them that they don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. So her statement is some of your statements are general. I mean,
but she could ask. I mean, she's free to ask a specific question. I'll try to answer the specific question. People are calling in and they're asking specific
but that's what I'm
questions and
saying.
answer.
But if you think your statements are general, put a question in the chat with respect to you said so and so and so, and why is it so? Ask a question, call in, ask a question, but you put in general statement, and then here's the next one. Here's the next one.
Okay. Okay. And what? And what?
Oh God!
But up to today, as for today's the 11th of May, Mrs. Pasabis has had a cabinet meeting on Thursday. Up to now, Mrs. Pasabis didn't say that I can't make no promises. She promised that she's going to deal with the demerit points system. That's happening.
Done.
She said
done.
She said she's going to get rid of the TTRA and she's going to re-engineer and revigor and boost the BIR and put some frameworks into strengthening the BIR. That's going to be done. What else she said she's going to do? She's going to reopen the Children's Hospital. Happening. She's going to find the nurses and doctors and she's going to get people employed in the medical services and the medical profession that don't have jobs. That's done. What is all they want?
No, but all over the world, people win elections on promises.
Promises is what you put forward. The promises are the proposals. You have 2 or 3 or 4 sets of promises, and you back the best promises, that the promises you think are the best suited to your life and how it's going to improve your life.
What doesn't she understand about that?
I don't know.
Well,
Patricia, you could state your mind, and Patricia, you could state opinion and fact, and there's a difference between stating your opinion and stating fact. What is the fact that you're stating? We never said you're not stating your opinion. Your opinion might be baseless, but your fact lacks any sort of grit. Right?
Yeah, no. It's just simple. So she says, Wall Street, there you go again. A different view isn't welcome here.
Nobody said that a different view isn't welcome here, but the question is, what is your view that is different? That she won on promises, that's a fact. She won on promises, but she also won on the fact that she's better than the PNM. She also won on the fact that she was able to discredit the viability of the PNM for Trinidad and Tobago for another 5 years. She also won on the fact that she convinced people, and the people agreed with her, that Stuart Young was a travesty of a politician and a travesty of anything that looks like a prime minister in order to take us in the next 5 years and take us into the future. She also won on the fact that the government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Keith Rowley and Stuart Young, put this country on a footing for economic collapse and deficit for a period of 10 years and counting. She also convinced the country that we did not deserve to live under a government that was literally keeping us back from progressing and doing well and having opportunity and prospering, because only one grouping of people were prospering. And the election is done, so I could politics now, right? I could politics now. I have a problem with people that want to come here and on any platform and talk a pack of nonsense, right? That she won on promises. You win on promises, you win on proposals, you win on argument. She convinced 335,000 people in Trinidad and Tobago that she was better than them, and she was better than the PNM. The Tobago people in Tobago voted against Ayanna Webster-Roy and Shamfa Kojo because they sat as ministers of government in a PNM government representing 2 seats in Tobago and did not advocate for the people of Tobago, but instead, when the TPP and the Watson Duke and Company won the 2021 local THA election, it became a war between 2 political parties, the government and the THA. Do you know that the THA was stymied in ensuring that it had boosts in tourism, greater number of airlines coming into Tobago, greater number of flights coming from Europe, finding ways to improve the economic growth independent of Trinidad? Do you know that they were prevented from doing that by the PNM administration? And that when they went away together as a team, they smiled and nodded and shook hands in front of every single conglomerate. But then when they came back to Trinidad, they went their separate ways. And when you called Trinidad to say, are we going ahead with what we agreed upon, the answer was a deaf tone. We have to face facts. This country was going down in a very dark space and place. Crime, economy, sociology, psychology, you name it. Every single sector of this country was going down the drain. If it is that you are the prime minister of a country and you are occupying a state house, a state property that we, the taxpayers, are paying for maintenance, and you cannot maintain that, at least clean the outside and put it and preserve it in a way where we can feel pride when you represented us, and another government is to come and play and see it in a state of disrepair, what does that say? When a permanent secretary could tell a government that the cabinet secretariat, one of the most critical entities in state governance, is in a state of disrepair, people are uncomfortable, files are at the risk of collecting mold, they're living and working in damp conditions, leakage, air condition falling apart, water coming through, flooding coming through, and you spend $32 million to upgrade the pride of Port of Spain, which is Whitehall, and it lasts 5 years, good. You want us to sit down and fold our arms and say she win on promises? Of course she win on promises. She also win on fact. She also won arguments that Stuart Young was in no contestation to beat her on. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago agreed with it. And if you are a PNM, your house burning down. Your house is on fire and your house burning down. Go and see if you can take 2 buckets of water and see if you can out it.
But let me add this. Because somehow PNM people don't like facts. They're more like fiction. On the 8th of May, Thursday, amendments to the Children Life Act, expansion of the act, and a review of rejected applicants. Review of repeal of the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority.
Let me deal with it. Hold on. No, Barry did not send me notes. I was taking my own notes. And public officers, public servants, cannot be the ones to keep a building if there's no damn money from the government. How do they get their money? It's through the allocation of a budget. Something called a budgetary allocation and a vote for maintenance. And if that permanent secretary does not have in that vote and that allocation of budget money to upkeep the building, then she can't do it. So don't talk nonsense for me.
There we go. So let me finish. The government plans to address financial deficits. Trinidad and Tobago for the month of May has a cash deficit of over $4 billion. This is the government. Stand your ground laws and home invasion laws to be considered. Additional plans to benefit citizens. For example, scrapping of the demerit point system, review of firearm license laws, identify spaces for cat labs in the hospital system, begin to access the reopening of Petrotrin refinery, laptop distribution for students entering secondary schools in September 2025. Additional plans to benefit citizens. Resource to fight crimes, cost cut, assess list of government officials supplied with state funding, housing, or determine cost cuts, infrastructure work, price cap, proposed energy sector project with Guyana, Suriname, and Grenada, proposed energy sector, and then they give you establishment of a solar PV power plant in Suriname by TNT's National Energy Agency, feasibility assessment of a cross-border subsea pipeline from Trinidad to Suriname by way of NGC, Ministry of Energy expected. Tommy Holy call.
Yes, yeah.
Minister of Energy expected to participate as featured speakers at the Suriname Energy Oil and Gas Summit in June 2025 with a focus on regional cooperation, pursuing the Grenada Gas Initiative to ensure resources in the region are optimally developed for TNT's benefit and the benefit of the region.
Hold on,
and that last part, Dr. Shane.
Or you don't call back.
Yeah, Tommy, tell you call it to hold on.
Hold on, you just hold on. Go ahead, Wall Street.
Yes. And Dr. Shane, the last part here, with respect to Grenada, Suriname, and Guyana, we are talking about diversification. No, for PNP, I'm going to say diversification. Diversification. Because it seemed to me that they felt hook, line, and sinker for what former Prime Minister Rowley stood up on our platform and make diversification to be a joke. This government, only in office a week, already talking about diversification, and those same PNM people gonna benefit from that because it's income coming into Trinidad and Tobago. This is not for UNC supporters alone. This is for the country. You understand? When the PNM didn't want to talk nothing about diversification, we neighbors right there, and they could have had it. Go ahead, Tommy. Take the caller.
Caller, go ahead, make your point. Turn on your computer.
Questions or comments about the demerit system. I think instead of doing away with the demerit system altogether, the demerit system doesn't make sense for like
like a broken tail light or these kind of physical things on the vehicle. But if you're driving in excess of the speed limit, they run a traffic light. These things, they should keep the DML system for that. Anything that's life-threatening particularly. But just to get rid of all of it, I don't think it's a wise idea. Have a blessed one.
Okay, thank you, Colin.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. For example, if you're speeding and you got a speeding ticket, we have a demerit system here. You get points on your license. Certain things required points on your license, but then there are other things. I didn't know you got points for parking a parking ticket. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Listen, and what I was reading, and a video was done by somebody who sells vehicles. It also prevented you from getting credit to purchase your vehicle. It affected your credit rating. That's unfair.
Yep.
That's important. That's something that was a serious gray area where it was unfair to citizens. Where oh gosh, we get tickets. Sometimes we above the speed limit. You don't realize it. Sometimes you're driving and you don't realize it. It happens. You accelerate, downhill up as the case may be, and you imagine that you get a ticket, and then that goes towards your credit rating as well. So it was very much unfair to people. But I will go on. Was that?
It's draconian.
Yeah, it's not only. I mean, everything these people did, it seems as though they just wanted to put a rope around people's neck.
And Dr. Shane, I used to ask the question, right? In 10 years, give us one innovative idea that came from under the PNM, right? Innovative. I'm talking about getting people land to do agriculture. That is not innovative.
I want to give you one. Did you read the PNM manifesto for 2025?
Okay.
The PNM manifesto for 2025 has
No, I read it.
But I had no choice, right? But I had to. But and it has stuck with me. Why it stuck to me is I said to myself, Trinidadians and Tobagonians clearly have not passed. We are all citizens who have not been able to pass Standard 3. We all left school at Standard 3 because I saw in the PNM manifesto under priority 5 or 6, one of them, maybe priority 3 or 4, I have it on the phone still. But I read, and I had to post it, and I said, but I had to be crazy. This is crazy. You would tell me that you wrote a manifesto, and your manifesto has something called Plant a Pui program.
Plant a Pui?
What's that? What's it called?
Look at here. Plant a Pui program. Make the Pui tree a signature feature in public buildings and open spaces. Promote national identity and natural beauty by planting Pui trees and other plants and trees at government buildings, parks, and public plazas across the country. This initiative will support urban greening, climate resilience, and cultural symbolism in everyday public life.
Watch now. Really?
I wanted to take that damn thing they call a manifesto and fling it behind me because I can't believe that I had to replant a Pui in a manifesto of an incumbent government. I want to give you another one. Learn to swim. The Learn to Swim program.
They were scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it have holes in the bucket, in the barrel.
I can't understand. I as far as I know, Standard 5 children, when they write essay and they're back in school for that period where they're waiting on results, part of their projects and their little giving back to communities is to plant pui, but you want to spend billions of dollars in a government from a government perspective to plant pui. A pui tree at max is $25, $30 max. I have gifted pui trees to friends who wanted pui trees for their birthdays and whatnot that are now flowering. You would tell me you want to put in a PNM government, in possible government, potential government manifesto, the policy document. Plant a pui?
Yeah, plant it. Let's take this question. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Shane?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ansem. Good evening, Mr. Tong. Good evening, Mr. Shane. Good evening to all the callers and Texas. Happy to see everybody here through Mr. God. Listen, Mr. Shane, Mr. Ansem, and Mr. Tommy. You see that Patricia, they have a network I listened to last night called the Bounce Out Network.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just ask the question. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. I know about that.
So
Just ask the question.
So, so what I'm saying is that on that conversation they was having the Miss Penny, Mr. Foster, Mr. Spigoli, it is the enemies. And you know what they're saying on that? That inside the internal election corrupted. But they're coming on this chat to try to tie up a different scene. You see, so UNC was corrupt, but the CPNM not corrupt, but now they talking PNM corrupt. So don't take them on, look on listening.
All right. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Point phone and call back. You know, Dr. Shane, this is a fella's thesis. He does proper thesis here in the program. Right? All right, let's take this call. Hold on. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Shane? Caller.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Mr. Carnage. What's your question for Dr. Shane?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else asked the question. I joined it. Right? It's trending on. I said trending on social media. A certain person putting on information concerning the Guyana statement with the gas from Guyana. Right? I don't know if your guests. I listened to all the pronouncement that the UNC made leading up to the 25 election. And I don't think it was categorical. I don't think it was clear that they said they had talks with Guyana, right? If I could be stand corrected, right? I know they said they are looking into Guyana, Suriname, and Grenada, right? But then, this activist is making it's stirring up a lot of controversy. Understand? With the Guyana, well, one of the content creator I just watched his post and you say he went to read the whole article, right? And I just want clarity. I don't know if it's mischief in trying to create mischief. PNM UNC is under microscope, and this thing I think the communication. I don't know if the UNC had anyone for communication supposed to come out and give a statement concerning that because it is gaining in gravity, right?
Caller, Mr. Carnage. Mr. Carnage, is that person a PNM blogger?
Yeah, the PNM blogger. But
okay.
The information I just clarified the information coming from the Guyana source. It's credible, right?
Don't worry. We'll talk about the Guyana.
Okay.
Right? So
all right.
I don't know if you all see it as
I have
trivial and just because of side. But it's cause for concern.
Okay, Mr. Carnage.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you could, send me whatever the copy you have of it, and we will address it here.
Yeah, all right. Okay, I'll do that.
Cool.
All right, no problem.
Because let me remove this thesis from the screen. I think you read that thesis, right, Dr. Shane?
I did. I want to read. Let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago has gas. We have plenty gas. We may not have a lot of oil, but we have gas. And what Mrs. Prasad has said, that while she understands that we are moving or we want to move away from oil and gas dependency, that there's a lot of products and diversification that can occur utilizing renewables like gas, non-renewables like oil and gas. That's one. Mrs. Prasad never said that she's going to Guyana to beg or to ask for gas, because we have gas, plenty gas, in and offshore, right? But you know what? I am very happy somebody just posted something, and I want Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a cause problem. This is for us to be aware. Loans and assistance provided. Guyana. In 1981, Trinidad and Tobago loaned approximately 96 million US dollars to Guyana under the Oil, Asphalt and Fertilizer Facility. The facility was established to provide soft loans over a 3-year period, enabling CARICOM countries to finance the incremental cost of such imports from Trinidad and Tobago. Between 1973 and 1981, Trinidad and Tobago transferred resources totaling about 200 million US dollars to CARICOM partners, including Guyana, to ease their balance of payment problems. That's one. Jamaica. In 1976, Jamaica received a loan of approximately 50 million US dollars from Trinidad and Tobago. Subsequent loan of the same amount was planned for 1977, but did not materialize due to political tensions and disagreements over economic policies. Smaller loans were also extended to Barbados, Dominica, and territories facing financial constraints during this period. But most importantly, and this is fact, by the mid-1990s, Guyana's debt to Trinidad and Tobago had escalated to approximately 536 million US dollars. In 1996, under a man called Bastille Pandey, under the Paris Club arrangement, and following recommendations from the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, the government decided to write off about 70% of this debt, amounting to roughly 357 million US dollars. The remaining 179 million US dollars was structured to be repaid over 23 years. The move was part of a broader international effort to provide debt relief to heavily indebted poor countries. Jamaica and other nations. While specific details on the repayment status of loans to Jamaica, Barbados, and Dominica are less documented, it is known that Trinidad and Tobago sought repayment of these debts as the oil boom ended. However, the financial difficulties faced by these nations likely led to challenges in repayment, and it is possible that some debts were restructured or forgiven in line with international debt relief initiatives. These are the interactions that underscore Trinidad and Tobago's role in supporting regional economic stability during periods of economic hardship, reflecting a commitment to Caribbean solidarity and cooperation. So when there are people who want to whine now on Trinidad and Tobago and behave as if we are nobodies, it's not that we poor. It's not why we catch every tail. We in Trinidad and Tobago was under a dictatorship. We were under authoritarian rule for 10 years in what I believe is a man-made recession, is man-made economic hardship because of laziness, lack of innovation, lack of interest, lack of compassion, lack of care, lack of everything that touch and concern the lives and livelihood of our nation and our international and regional standing. I think Mrs. Prasad Bisasa to explore Grenada is an excellent choice. And I think her decision to explore Suriname is even more than exemplary in that regard, because I think we have a lot of opportunities to assist and to provide. If Ghana and the African nations that developed oil, discovered oil, could count on little Trinidad and Tobago to send our expertise over there to assist, what does that say about us? We might be going through a little rough patch now. The people spoke. The people accept. The people decided.
Dr. Shane, so Kola have a question for you. Kola, go ahead.
Sure.
It's not really a question per se, but yeah, I could ask a question. The 3 million that and the corruption is something, and we give back something in each from that, if it's still there, right?
The 3 million pages.
And Dr. Shane, I just want to say, we planted a tree tree, right, since 2015, right? And that poetry has so it has blossomed into yellow, and that's what the country is at today. I would think that as the only thing that probably in our manifesto that make a little sense.
Makes sense.
But anyway, I just want to say there's something I observed in the run of the election, right? Well, I wouldn't even call him a prime minister because that one the thing I got in it from me, right? And the way he was sworn in, I don't think that was making any sense at all. I think that they just put this man there, right, to get a salary and to hoodwink the people at Trinidad and Tobago. But the thing is this: some of the statements made by Stuart Young on the platform was one, they're going to devalue the dollar if they get in there, and the second thing was that they're going to so it was by devalue the dollar and they're going to the IMF, right? But I think what Stuart Young was doing here, he was telling us he knew the state of the economy, he knew the state of all the government agencies, and I think he knew that that is what that if she really doing right, seeing what was left there, they would have had a choice to face here. But knowing the person coming up beside Mr. Says with the brilliance that he have, she take him by surprise. I think that's where he was at. That is why he was saying that we have to go to the IMF and we're going to devalue the dollar. And I think that is something that I talk to who's having overlooked.
All right,
that
cool.
was because he knew what was the state of the economy.
All right, Philip. Thank you. Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank
I want to tell you something. I want to tell everybody something. After the 1986 to 1991.
So Dr. Shane, we see we believe that the government is on a good footing and you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Let me take this call, since this is our first time caller. Caller, welcome. What's your question for Dr. Shane? Caller.
You have Dr. Shane Mohammed there?
Yes, he's here, Tabakit. How are you?
I'm good.
What's your question?
Dr. Shane Mohammed, a pleasant afternoon to you, dear analyst.
Thank you.
Go ahead. He's listening.
He's there. I just want to say hello to him. I know him very well, you know.
Yeah, you know him well?
Very well. He will know me as the Maurice Horsley. He used to
be
in the UNC.
What Tabakit?
Well, how you doing?
Tabakit.
I'm very
all
well.
the
I'm
time
very
you see me
well.
and you never call, and all of a sudden you call today because it's Mother's Day. Because it's Mother's Day.
Mr. Horsley.
Tell me
Mr.
why you
Horsley, good evening. Mr. Horsley, good afternoon. It's
Okay.
good to hear you.
Why I call, I'll tell you.
Yes.
This young man, I have full respect for him. And I'll tell you why. He is one of the independent voice. And this young man, he trenches. And to sit where he is sitting today with that brain space, all I want to say to you, analyst and professor, and Shane, I want to say, may God bless you on this day and continue to do your independent work. Let me say happy Mother's Day to all mothers in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean and the world, and especially a special happy Mother's Day to the dear
Wall Street. Tommy, you there?
Nothing. I'm not hearing anything.
No, I'm not hearing anything yet. Anyways, let me just say this. The idea that we are going to go down the route of IMF and devaluing of the dollar. In 1986, in 1991, after the loss of the
Right.
NER government.
All right. So my internet went out there. So folks,
But you're on. We can hear you.
Yeah, Tabakit, I don't know why. Tabakit like he was on that PNM rock before and he come out for Monday. I don't.
Mr. Tabakit is a strong UNC supporter.
That's right.
Yeah, I know Tabakit is a
The
strong UNC.
noisiest
Tabakit is more
the
UNC.
noisiest
He more
horse are
UNC than
very,
me.
very.
You know, like
He's a
Tabakit more UNC
strong,
than me.
strong. Yeah. He's a strong UNC
Yeah, Tabakit is a UNC. But
I knew him since when I was a little boy.
But Dr. Shane,
Mhm.
go ahead.
I just wanted to say that.
But Dr. Shane, I want to say, thank you so much for joining us. You have put forward your opinions regarding the elections. You know, you stayed focused. You kept your eye on the prize, and people can say whatever they want. You know what I mean? But you have been one of those that has been at the forefront, and the UNC is better for it today.
Dr. Shane, before you go.
Yes, sir.
You said that what's important is that the people become vigilant. This is early in the show. You said that.
Yes.
How do you propose they get to that point, to that state?
We can't. Vigilance doesn't mean we complain or we question every single thing. We have to give them the opportunity to report back to us. And when we see something or hear something that we may have questions to, ask it. Put it into the. I mean, we all have intelligent people here, for the most part, and we are on social media and whatnot. Put your comments and the Prime Minister has indicated that she will be operating from north, south, central, Tobago, you name it, because the facilities are available where she can so do. And I mean, the facilities allow where I can sit in Trinidad and Tobago and teach for a university outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So a Prime Minister sitting in Trinidad and Tobago could more than work in any office in Trinidad and Tobago. But she's going to be more engaging, and she requires that we as a people will also report back to her when things are good, bad, and indifferent, because she will only know she's not telepathic. And semantics, you're like that. For the most part, she wants us to be able to have a dialogue, whichever medium we use to have a dialogue with her. Have a dialogue with her. She's not telepathic, and also you can't blame her for things that she's unaware of. So it is important, and I've learned that over the years. You have to let her know.
The fourth estate has demonstrated that they work against the UNC before, and they could probably do it again. How do we keep them in line?
Oh, we complain about the fourth estate as well, but as far as I see, right now the Trinidad Express is dancing a different tune. The Tassa is rolling on the Trinidad Express.
Alrighty.
But let us do what needs to be done in our best interest, and let us do. Yes, Anna, I would be one of those who would be at the forefront saying that I did criticize the Honorable Prime Minister, but I did not criticize the Honorable Prime Minister out of hate. I criticized the Honorable Prime Minister so that she could be her best, and what she is today is her best. And when I criticize my students, and I tell them that my students, and when I tell my students that they're not doing well, it's not because because they are foolish, or it's because they're not doing what they ought to do to be their best version of themselves.
And I want to say, I think sometimes there are many times where criticism is good, and it can help you to be better. Depends on the way you take it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you are criticized and you totally ignore it, like, oh, I criticized the PNM and they couldn't care less. They could not care less. I think there's a difference. But Dr. Shane, I want to thank you again. Any closing words before you go?
No, I mean, looking at that, Anna and Rado talk about trying to pull back programs about when I criticize the government and the UNC. I always say I stand by what I said, and I'm not reneging on what I said. The UNC had no right to lose the 2015 general election. The UNC did a lot for this country that that made Mrs. Prasad Bisesa deserving of a second consecutive term. That was probably not in her fate. That was not the destiny. The destiny is to go out into political wilderness and come back into glory. I can't control that.
Thank you,
The only person can control that is the person that she keep talking about, which is God. So
there you have it, Dr.
everybody.
Shane. We want to thank you again so very kindly for stopping by. It's always a pleasure when you come in.
Thanks,
right. We'll see you again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Take care, folks. All right.
So there you have it, folks. There we go.
Top of the hour.
Yeah. Folks, we'll be right back. Stick and stay.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We're back with you. It's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. That's every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. So, folks, let me play my closing quote, and then we can get out of here and go and celebrate Mother's Day. I think I have, let me see, I have two. Let me take this call. Tabakeet, welcome.
You know why I called Professor Wall Street and Company good afternoon?
Good afternoon.
I
Good
think
afternoon.
Dr. Tommy with you. You know, I have been staying away, which you know I talk to you private. You don't have to say.
Yeah.
And nobody wasn't hearing me. You know I kept away. It has nothing to do whether if I left the UNC. And I'm reading some foolish comment because I know they're listening. And Trinidad and Tobago is a country like this. You say or USA, people tends to believe they could go in a crystal ball and they could give opinion. And I listen to some of the foolish opinion. Now, normally, you know, I don't respond to people because they have a saying, empty vessels make the most noise. Yeah? You with me, Professor Wall Street?
You listening? Go ahead, we listening.
Right. So the only person I owe an explanation to why I wasn't out there is Almighty God. I do not have to come and say something for somebody to hear you, and if you know what I mean, to gain political favors. Since I know myself, which you know, you could attest to that, I always hold one party card, which is the UNC. I do not believe in jumping from party to party. So some Anna Mohammed and some crazy person this Mother's Day, I don't know if that woman don't have anything to do to go and make cake and bake a turkey and some ham and prepare for your children and your grandchildren. Yeah? So if nobody wasn't hearing me, it's just I decide, you know what, to stay away. What I realized from the time you stay away and nobody here hearing you, oh, you is this, oh, you is that. Oh, give me a break. Give me a break with all your nonsense. Stop reading, going in the crystal ball and trying to read into people. You understand, Professor Wall Street? I had, and I'll tell you why I bear more respect for you now. You had called me a Sunday and you said, Tabakeet, why you're not out? And I know you is not the kind of person that's come out and talk thing. And I told you, look, so is the case. So it had nothing to do, well, if I was a closet PNM or I wasn't campaigning. I didn't come out my personal reason. So I don't think people like Anna Mohammed and me and know some other critics and they're writing out. And you see, I'll tell you something. When you're not saying anything, nobody knows where you're coming from. So let me say this to the critics. For you all, 90% of you all who saying this and that about the UNC, perhaps you all don't even have a registered member with that party. A lot of people come on board, yes, the party win and they're in government. But if you ask them personally, do you have a membership? How old is your membership? But I wouldn't go there. I just decide, normally I don't respond, but I'm seeing some foolish and some illiterate comment, which I am not in the practice to tell people how to shape their opinion. So if you don't know anything according to my deceased grandmother, shut your mouth.
Thank you,
Professor
Tabaki.
Wall Street, I thank you.
Thank you. KFC, welcome. KFC. KFC.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Washer. Good afternoon. Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
See Tabakit. We take him back the award. We give Tabakit. Tabakit. Good afternoon, Mr. Wall Street. Good afternoon to Brooklyn. Good afternoon to Wall Street. And everybody will keep on the fight. Tabakit, will you come out? Will you come out? We want to hear you. You see that award we give you? You want to make a that I give you? We strapping that award.
Oh boy.
You that silent PNM. We not time that to say Tabakit. Right? I be honest with you, either UNC supporter, either supporter, you were never the fight in the fight. You know coming out now? Mr. Warshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fire burn Tabakit and them by.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
I tell you that.
Yeah.
Because what it was,
Yeah.
you come on the fight, Brooklyn came on the fight, Washington on the fight, I came on the fight. What Tabakit was? You know, coming out now and talking about that. You see that award we give you? You want it back. But Tabakit, hall. I go now, come back in.
Okay. Folks. All you, we are the end, eh? Tabakit, come on, stop the thing at the end, boy. Tabakit, we want to hear you, boy. We want to hear you, Tabakit, but we don't want to hear you like this. You know what I mean? Folks, let me play my closing quote, eh? Let me play my closing quote before we get in trouble here. I'm going to see what them people are for Mother's Day. All right. This is my closing quote, folks.
Good morning, God. Today is Sunday, May 11th, but it's not just any Sunday. Today, all of heaven pauses to look at them. It's Mother's Day, the day of those who love even before hearing a name, of those who feel fear and still keep going, of those who carry the world without letting go of home. Today, I'm not here to pray for myself. Today, I pray for her, for the woman who carried me, even when the weight was more than she could bear, for the woman who saw me fall, and even wounded never let go of my hand. Bless, Lord, the mother who hides her tears behind a smile, who stays silent not to hurt, who prays while everyone else sleeps. Give rest to the ones who live exhausted. Give peace to those who have cried in silence for too long. Give health, give strength, give lighter days. But above all, give recognition. Let her feel today how deeply she is loved. Because a mother is the closest miracle heaven has ever lent us. Happy Mother's Day, in Jesus' name. Amen.
From where I said this is it, the clock on the wall said that's all I like to stay, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. Remember, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. And let me say a special happy Mother's Day to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, as you continue to do the good work to move Trinidad and Tobago back to a place where it needs to be. I continue to give you all the blessings and best wishes in the future. Tommy, go ahead.
My first address is on love. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that liberate. This is from Bell Hooks. Like I always say, you, the man in the mirror, you have to become that change you want to see. However, when you look in that mirror, if you don't like what you see, you cannot blame the mirror. Never look down on a person unless you give them a hand up. Love you all. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow in the village. Enjoy your Mother's Day, all the mothers.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, we have a this is a first-time person, Janine Hassan Ali. She says, Dr. Shane put it very eloquently, i.e., the PNM were intellectually lazy during their 10 years in office, which is why we are now in the present economic position. I would like to suggest that we use the opportunity to reduce our food importation bill by expanding our agricultural diversification to permit for local consumption and downstream processing. We can create orchards of breadfruit, mangoes, jackfruits, and such edibles, which can be canned, frozen, pureed, juiced, etc., both for local consumption and foreign export. We import mango juice all the way from South Africa, etc., which is not necessary. Let me say welcome to Janine Hassanali. Wonderful point. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Splendiferous. Thank you very much, Janine. Don't be a stranger. Let me get closing voice notes.
Yes, my closing comments. Listen to the program. There were some very interesting points. I noticed when you have educated people, like Mr. Shane and thing, there are folks that they don't be on the program at all. I don't know if you noticed that. I think the reason is obvious. Anyhow, so no, the country lovers, we will not rejoice if some deal didn't come through that would have benefited the country, whether it is with the African, with Jingdal, with Sital, with Grenada, with Guyana. The country lovers will not rejoice over that, because if the country prosper, the country is comprised of people, right? And as I have indicated, make care to hoots about which color in the driver's seat, as long as the bloody vehicle get to somewhere safe and sound with very little or no accidents. All right? The country lovers are. I can't stop for the parties and them. All right? Because I ain't no tiller dead at all. No way. I indicated who I support and the good that they do, and I did not support in anything that they did not do good. Okay? This new body come in, and I hope that they do better than well. And yeah, people saying that they hope they stay for 50 years. I hope so too. But to stay, time you go down the same road you went before, ploops, it will be the same result. Yeah? Good evening, folks. God is love. That cannot change.
Hey, Tabakit, we don't encourage disrespect here on WZYE 95.9 FM. Eh? You're new here, and we don't encourage disrespect. Okay? If you have a problem with someone, take it off with them personally, but don't put no disrespectful comments in the chat. If you put disrespectful comments, you'll be chat. You'll be blocked. Okay? We don't encourage that type of thing here. All right, Tabakit? So Tabakit, you need to apologize for that, eh? You need to apologize. Okay, there we go. No problem. Tabakit says he's sorry. Okay? Here it is. We don't encourage those type of disrespect here on WZYE 95.9 FM, where you have differences with people, right? Work out your difference privately, but don't put your disrespect disrespectful comments in the chat, and no problem. Your apologies accepted. And that's how we just go here. Okay? Let me get this other voice now.
Birthday Professor Wall Street. Am I correct, Tamakit? In Trinidad, is not empty vessels that make the most noise, eh? It's empty posies that make the most noise. Empty posies. You hear me, Tamakit? Right. That's the new slang. Go on.
Oh God, all you that's not disrespectful. That's not disrespectful. Let me see. Let me see what Mr. That's it, Mr. Hanson, that's why I brought this down show. We will destroy ourselves with small talk and PNM is on fire. We don't need to go down that path. We already started to fight each other. Okay, nothing there. Philip Randit, nothing there. Okay, I think that's it, folks, for the all right, let me see any okay, I'm gonna send our next voice note. Yeah, boy, before we go by.
Gordon Dryden, why you so disrespectful and wicked for? Eh? So because certain people don't listen to the show or don't call in, they're uneducated? Why you rock so? Let me tell you something, Gordon. Go up by Manny Ramjan Stadium and play.
Oh God. Folks, last call, last call. KFC, keep it clean, KFC. Last call.
Nah, Mr. Washington, Uncle Tommy.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yeah.
The moms. I'm Uncle Tommy to the moms and everybody. To Trinidad and Tobago and the whole wide world.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Leave Tawakita alone. Leave Tawakita.
By point Tawakita and by me Tawakita Tabakit. Don't call there, boy.
Nah, leave Tawakita.
I hate these six people when I'm shot flick or thing out. Robin Bell shot flick something. They're coming now. When you ask everybody when Tabakit, you walk down award. Happy Mother's Day to you. Bless. I'll go Mr. Washington. It's not like that again.
All your closing comments. Ms. Santa Cruz closing comments. There are two types of evil: people who do evil things and people who see people doing evil things and don't do anything. Anon. Cool Runner says, time is real, Aristotle. Time is an illusion of the mind. Emmanuel Kent, boy, what? Boy, Kent, that's a big one, Cool Runner. Emmanuel Kent, boy, I teach that in global business, boy. Time was invented by clock companies to sell more clocks. Karl Marx. Yeah. That's a big one there, boy. You know, that one, boy. Emmanuel. Uh, anger is like an oven. What are you internet messing up? Anger is like an oven heat without light. Okay. Semantic 62 closing comment. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah, boy. Eleanor Roosevelt also says no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Excellent. Okay, I think that's it for closing comments. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. Cool Runner, Lisa Gerard, Semantic 62. Okay, Volsang, closing comment. Sorry. Thank God for the cowshed educated every day for this country would have been worse off. This needed to be said. Thank you, Volsang. All right, folks. We are out of here. So, folks, should I take this call? Nah. Come on. We don't want to go back and forth. We don't want to go back.
Tobago. Politics was we and them. That was never meant to be so, according to the anthem. But ethnic insecurity was maintained to divide us by some people in the country to sow the seeds of distrust. But we have fought a new system within the community. Now what used to be we and them has now become only we. From now on this nation is we. From now on it is you and I. From now on it is unity. From now on we flying high. All the races have come together to build a better country and create a brighter future for the whole society. The we and them thing is no more, because it is plain to see in this country from shore to shore the community is we. No more we and them. From now on this nation is we. No more we and them. From now on this nation is we and we and we and we